So he sends his secretary out to get a big bag of fried chicken and stuff. But he's so cheap, he doesn't actually want to buy the chicken, so he's got her going through the dumpster out front to get the wrappers. So when they come in, there's all these wrappers of the fried chicken. So the guy thinks everybody in the office eats some fried chicken.
I'll bet you he was cheap. He probably still is cheap.
Do you remember what the reunion episode of Seinfeld was about on the Larry David Show?
God. What? On Larry David? I've never seen the Larry David.
Well, on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah. I just watched part of it, but I fell asleep on
it. Basically what happens is, it's almost like nothing has happened. They all still live in New York. But George got married. Madoff takes all his money. This must have been right during the Madoff time. But when he divorces his wife,
he's trying to get back together.
She doesn't. Yeah, that's Larry's wife. So she doesn't like Madoff. So the second they get divorced, she takes all the money away from Madoff. So she ends up with her millions. Remember how he made millions? It was an iPhone app where it was called iToilet. The best bathrooms in New York City, the best public bathrooms.
That was George's biggest.
So he finally makes $1 million. So he loses all his money. He gets back with his wife, who saved her half from the divorce, okay, follow me? And then she hits him up with a prenup. So he's got to sign a prenup to keep him away from his own money. It's the best.
And that's not, I guess I have to watch that. That's Curb Enthusiasm up to season 8.
Guys, let me ask you something. I saw something about YouTube. Does this show get archived?
Archived YouTube and Facebook.
Yeah. So we're live right now.
Yeah, we're live. When I say we're live on YouTube and Facebook.
Yep.
So commercials go right on through.
People are watching us right now.
Yeah.
Even on the breaks, people are watching us.
And that's the camera for you guys.
Well, we've got a camera here, we've got a camera there, and we've got a camera up there behind you.
Are we going to be on television?
You're on right now, yeah.
Like that. Right.
Yeah.
So, is this something we can reference on our website?
Absolutely. Just have your web guy, he'll know how to link right to it. You don't have to be an engineer.
It helps though. It definitely helps.
Now, what you will find out during the show, though,
I'm running
is
so late.
this man here has got a talent that'll blow you away.
Okay.
Right, don't do it for free, though.
He can, you've probably never met anybody like this, but he can literally look at your shoes.
This is a
and tell you where you got
This is a
him.
very intelligent man. Do not play stupid games with him. He is
Thank
not
you,
your
Tom.
run-of-the-mill.
Thank you, Tom.
These people are not your run-of-the-mill.
I
I do not want you subjecting them to all this in-studio bullshit.
I might get a T-shirt that says I'm not running the
Come
mill.
on now.
Tom says I'm not running the mill.
These guys are very
I'm going to get a shirt that says I was
doctors.
stupid.
Do not waste their time.
It'll go like this, though.
It'll be pointing him.
I am. I'm going to get on with stupid shirt.
You should get one that just points
Are you?
Do not waste their time, please. You're not allowed.
Myself.
We're very mature.
Please. Oh my goodness, the studio's a mess.
This whole building, did you guys, the whole third floor you got to get off on, then walk up.
So I just found out Corey said if someone needs to use the elevator, you know, that has
They can.
She can get them if you go to her. She can get
For the
them.
4th floor?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I asked
but
about you, Tom. She says no. She said that. She said that.
No.
She did.
We're on, guys.
No, that doesn't mean Martino.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino. Thank you for being here and starting off your week with us because we love helping people. That's what the show's all about. If you've never heard a show like this, you're thinking, what the heck is this guy doing? He's not talking about politics and religion. He's not trying to change my mind. He's not trying to beat me up. He's not trying to do anything but help. Yeah, the only people who find the show controversial are people who are ripping people off. they listen and they get so pissed off. How can you do that? You can't talk about me. And I say, yeah, we can. Called freedom of speech. The only caveat there is when we say something, if we can't back it up, we could be in big trouble. That's why when I call people liars, cheats, and rip-offs, it's like an invitation to them to come after me if you think I'm lying, because then we do what's called discovery, and we kick your ass in court. That's what we do. We expose liars, cheats, and rip-offs. That is our main function. We teach people how to prevent liars, cheats, and rip-offs from taking advantage of them. We've recovered also, over the years, hundreds of millions of dollars in cash, merchandise, exchanges, refunds, and services. Live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on the iHeartRadio app, live across the country, live on our flagship station, KHOW in Denver. Welcome. We also talk about new and different things. We love what we do. So I'm going to go to the phones and then introduce a special guest. If you are suffering from depression, you will like what you hear. You know, depression is one of those things you're hearing more and more and more and more of. Depression, clinical depression. By the way, there's a difference between feeling bad and depression. And I think sometimes, my own personal opinion, I'm not speaking for these doctors here. I think because we're told if you feel bad, you're depressed, and that's a bad thing, sometimes people trying to just get away from feeling bad start this little spiral where they think, well, I shouldn't be feeling this way. And then they think there's something wrong with them, and that in and of itself becomes a problem, but it's not necessarily depression.
I think a lot of young adults go through that. They're unhappy for whatever reason, maybe a breakup or something, and they think they're depressed, but it's pretty normal.
You know what I say? I talked to a guy one time, lost his father, lost his business, his dog died, and he was feeling like crap, and I said, well, that's pretty normal. I mean, if you felt pretty good about that, I'd think you're crazy.
Sounds like a country song.
No, I said the guy, you're normal, feel bad. It doesn't matter, feel bad. I mean, so we'll talk to these doctors about what depression is. By the way, if you're suffering from depression, you can give us a call. But this is all about you and your doctor and some new advances in technology. Here's one thing, though, that's a problem, not just with depression, not just with feeling bad, but with any medical problem. Here's what I always battle. The hype and the crazy stuff versus the real stuff. For everything real, you have a fake counterpart. Oh my God, like cancer. When people are diagnosed with cancer, some of the stuff they hear and go through and pay for. Then you have the stem cell therapy we've recently heard about because it's becoming big. You have more fakers than real ones. Then you have things like brainwave optimization. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, you know, or biofeedback or stuff like that. And then you have TMS Solutions, which I talked about on this show, and I advertised for them. But before I did, I checked it out. You have so many things. And here's the problem, I think, with true, genuine technology, true, genuine pharmaceuticals, true, genuine treatments. They get muddled and mixed up with the fake stuff. God, that's the biggest problem, really. It really is. Like, you have all kinds of stuff for something as simple as ED, erectile dysfunction, okay? That's a big thing. Oh, the reason you hear so much about it is because we've never had a bigger aging population in one chunk than we do now. So when you hear about that, then you hear about all the fakes on the internet trying to rip people off. Okay, the same happens with stem cell. The same happens with any medical technology. Unfortunately, you have people taking advantage of those in need. I think the number one population being taken advantage of is cancer. Then it used to be AIDS. Oh my God, the poor, poor people suffering from full-out AIDS, or even with the HIV virus. Oh, what they wouldn't do to find some kind of treatment or cure. So we'll talk about something that I found that I didn't discover. I mean, I found to be remarkable therapy for people with depression. So hang on, okay? Thomas, your turn. What's happening, Thomas? What's going on with you?
Hi, I'm dealing with a last employer that is refusing to give me my last paycheck.
Well, that's a pretty easy thing. Now, listen, if you quit, you wait till your next scheduled paycheck. If he fires you or she fires you, then you have to be paid within 24 hours. So what's the deal?
Well, I waited the
No, I meant what's the deal? Did you quit or were you fired?
Yeah, quit.
When
I
you
quit.
quit, you wait for the next scheduled pay period in Colorado.
Yes, and I waited, and they are refusing to give me my last paycheck.
Okay, now, in Colorado or almost anywhere, there's something called offset. That means they think you owe them something, they can take it out of your pay. They can't just flat ignore you. And you know, one thing that we found in Colorado, you know, we laugh about the government, but the government in Colorado, when it comes to pay, wage an hour, they're pretty, it's one of the most effective departments I've seen for fighting for people. So Thomas, in a nutshell, what reason did they give you for withholding pay?
Well, they told me I wrecked a truck.
Okay, that's called offset. So it's not that they're refusing to pay you, they're applying it. They're saying you owe them money. How much did they say you owe?
They said over a couple thousand.
And how much did they withhold?
Probably about $1,400.
Do they say they want you to pay the rest?
No, they just said they won't give me my last paycheck.
When was that check? Excuse me. When was the accident?
I'm not sure because there's 5 other drivers that drive that truck.
Oh, so you're not even acknowledging there was an incident?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Okay.
Not on my part.
Okay. So do you think now, and I don't want you to just knee-jerk this one. I want you to really listen. Do you think that they're making it up and just flat-out lying to keep $1,000 from you or $1,300? Or do you think they really feel the truck was damaged?
They're either probably lying or somebody else did it and they're trying to blame it on me because I quit.
Okay. Now, Thomas, very seldom do we, I know this sounds crazy for a show that goes after liars, cheats, and ripoffs. Very seldom do we find true liars, cheats, and ripoffs. I mean, we do find them, but I doubt that an employer, unless it's just a rinky-dink shop, what are we talking about? What company is this?
It's called In a Rush Towing and Recovery.
What recovery?
In a Rush Towing and Recovery.
What is it? A repossession company? What is it?
It's insurance claims.
Okay.
Like roadside assistance.
Very seldom do we find companies saying, hey, guess what, guys? Thomas is leaving. We can all make some money here. There's $1,300 we're going to keep. And then they celebrate. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense. I think what we have to do now is you have to put in a claim with wage and hour. We can call them too, but they're just going to tell us that you wrecked the truck. Did they give you a specific breakdown? They have to give you information. Did they give it to you?
No.
Okay. Now listen to me. I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm telling you what I would do, and I'll tell you what hundreds of thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but hundreds or thousands of people have done before you. They write a letter saying, I'm owed this much money, and it was due on this date. If I'm not paid within 10 days, I'm going to sue you for triple damages as allowed by law. I would do something like that. And then, or, by the way, if I don't get paid, or a complete explanation of the withholding. Now that makes you holy. If they ignore you, you're holy. When you go to court, judges like that. So you sue them for triple the amount. Look up the statute that gives you that right. It's called treble damages for unpaid wages. Look it up. And then do it. And then call wage and hour. And Thomas, we're telling you what to do, not because this is a kiss-off, but because if you're telling the truth, it'll help you. But I want you to stay in touch with us through the process, okay? And then we can get you some legal advice if you need it. 303-713-8255. This is the Troubleshooter Show. As I said, the only show of its kind anywhere in the universe. I think the universe. I know for sure in this solar system. 303-713-TALK. This hour brought to you by Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. We love Frank. I mean, he's a good man. If you look at him as a man, he's the best we've ever met. As a business person, as a real estate broker, you don't do better. 920-1622. That's a 303-920-1622. I don't have anything cocked and ready, but I'll get whatever I need.
So Bob and Louise, right now.
I got you here. Idea. Oh, I know them by heart. Thank
Still
you.
on
Facebook and YouTube, not on the radio.
Oh, okay. So don't pick me up.
Do I?
Don't pick me up.
No, well, we're live even when we're not. So right now, if you say something, it's going over broadband. People like to listen in during the breaks.
And just let you know, I scan to you guys normally when you guys are talking and stuff. That's why. Otherwise, it's on Tom and Mark because they want to be seen all the time.
I understand.
You got a haircut.
Now, every once in a while,
got more
so
than
did
one
I.
cut.
Wait, you didn't notice I got one?
I do now that you say it.
Yeah, now you say it.
So,
But Mark's was looking.
during
Mark's
the
was- Mark
during
was
these
looking a little
breaks,
shabby.
when I put these on and start talking, that means that I'm doing a commercial. So just kind of be quiet there. That's all. Just during that time. Whenever I put these in.
You guys,
Ideal Home Loans for your next Ideal Home Loan, and I don't say that lightly. First of all, Ideal has salaried loan brokers or officers. They never try to upsell you into a loan. They always try to find the most economic way to go. Now, let me explain something about loans. There are all kinds of loans. It's not one size fits all. In fact, Ideal Home Loans tries to fit you with the best loan for your situation. Also, they do things like credit guarantee for interest rates. So if interest goes down over the next 2 years, they refinance you free of charge. And then once you refinance, you get another 2-year guarantee. They also do credit tweaking. I've had people say, Tom, if I am approved, why do I need to tweak my credit? Okay, you might be approved, right, with a 680 score. And then you go through. But if they can tweak it and help you pay down, they say pay down this balance or do this or do that or correct your address, that can help you get even better pricing on the back end for lower payments. This is something no other company does. This is idealhomeloans.com, 303-867-7000.
what are the mortgage rates right now?
I don't even know.
This is out of the blue. Out of the blue. I get this. Look.
So, what is this? Who is it? Is it Mark the Mount, that one? Major Mark? No. What is it, Suzanne?
Just an old referral list member, ICS.
Is it
Well,
weird
not
though?
still.
Oh, he's our investigator.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
investigator.
anyway.
But what's weird about
You
it?
got
Sends a video.
Last
He
time he
just-
helped me.
Just saying
just
hi?
no, it's just the way. I don't know. It's just bizarre.
Last time he helped me, he wanted Suzanne to give him a call.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
now,
What bothered me is when he started his real estate stuff, he calls and leaves me a happy birthday voicemail. How on earth would he ever have known it was my birthday?
It's called stalking, honey.
It was just weird.
Okay,
He probably got said
Suzanne.
on the show, though, don't you think? Mark probably said.
I got my own stalker right here.
No, it probably did come on the show.
The
though, don't
nuisance
you
law
think?
guy is on line 6
How do
He
I
said somebody
tell?
tried to call him this
Me.
morning. I knew it was you, so I said hang tight
Okay.
so you could chat at him. I
Yeah,
Where did
knew
you
because
guys
was
say
on
you
the
live?
Doesn't have his voice
Where did you?
now.
Oh, you can take that off during commercial. It'll drive you crazy. Where did you say you guys live?
Added it.
Grand Junction.
That's right. So did you drive over here today? Oh,
Last night.
Last night.
do you have a place here or friends or? How long have you been on the West Slope there?
31 years.
Oh, so that's your home.
Oh, yeah.
I was in the Air Force here back in the late 60s, early 70s. That's how I got to Colorado. I was in here in the Air Force.
At Buckley?
No, at Lowry.
Was Buckley an Air Force Base too?
It was a National Guard base.
Oh, okay, I didn't know. So
Yeah.
Lowry, okay.
So Lowry, before
Is
they
Lowry
made it-
still there or not?
No, they made it into some kind of residential area.
Were you kind of a lifer in the military? No, just
They wanted me to be. To be a lifer, my colonel offered me a tour of duty in Vietnam in a recruitment speech. If you go career, he said every career officer needs a war. And if you stay in, become a lifer, I make sure you get a tour of duty in Vietnam.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's
I
a
said,
great
Colonel,
offer.
I don't have anybody ever turns down your damn recruitment speech. Can you believe that? Said by a real lifer.
What did you do in the Air Force?
I was a squadron commander for the photo spy school here. So we had a training program here to train the technicians how to work on the cameras.
So these cameras are in aircraft?
Oh yeah,
like the stealth?
U2
and then you analyze those photos.
Somebody else would do that. This was a training base.
Right.
And so
but
they
in
didn't
those years, or is it true that they had such technology you could see like, oh really? Minute detail. Oh my God.
the clarity.
Even then.
Obviously not nearly what it is today, but they could say well.
Hi, Tom Martino, you're a troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. So if you're suffering from depression, you may wonder, who do we have? TMS Solutions. Dr. Bob Sammons is here. And Louise Sammons. Louise, you're a doctor too, right? A PhD? Nursing, is it? Did I remember that right?
It's nursing.
But a PhD or not?
It's an EDD, yeah.
Well, a doctor.
Uh-huh.
A doctor of nursing. So did you teach nursing?
Yes, I did.
You know, there's an old saying that nurses do the real work when it comes to docs. You know, they keep them straight. Now you have nurse practitioners, which are damn near doctors. I mean, they can have an office. They can prescribe.
Yes.
They can do. I don't know what they can't do. What can they not do? I'm just curious about that.
Yes. In many states, nurse practitioners work under the auspices of physicians.
A physician.
But many of the nurse practitioners in this state are independent.
Autonomous.
Mm-hmm.
And they can, well, what, the limitation, maybe surgery? Is that can they take a surgical residency? Or no, do you not know? No, they can't. Okay.
You have to go through med school. You have to be
for a nurse practitioner.
No.
Send me that
for
stuff,
to
guy who
do
uses law.
surgery. You would have to be a physician.
But to do a nurse practitioner, you become a nurse. I mean, you have to do a bachelor's for nursing, then you go to nursing school, or do you do that in conjunction with your bachelor's? How does that work?
The bachelor's is a college degree.
And then you go for a master's?
Additional
Would an RN
training.
be considered a master's degree like when you become? No?
It would be... The RN is the registered nurse, so that's what you do with the state.
But that's after college.
You
after
just have to take
college.
a test.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you go on to be a nurse practitioner. So, do they have to go to a medical school?
No, they have to go to a nurse practitioner school.
Is it pretty intense? It must be.
Very intense.
Yeah. Very, very. I've always been interested in nurse practitioners. I think it's a great alternative. 303-713-TALK. Now, we're going to talk to Dr. Sammons about TMS Solutions, and it's specifically for people suffering from depression.
Is he the one
a discussion to have your doctor with the magnetic
that
machine.
made your arm move?
Yeah. So, Roger, what's going on with you, Roger? What's happening?
Hi, Tom. I appreciate you talking to me.
Yes, sir.
I've got a problem with a developer that I live across the roadway from. It's a custom home development down in Franktown.
You know, it used to be so difficult to get developments approved. And I swear to God, there are so many now. I mean, the mood is... I remember years ago talk shows going nuts over someone wanted to put a freaking, a Walmart in somewhere, or somebody just wanted to do like a small development for houses. It seems like everywhere I look, there are new developments. You can see the landscape being... being plowed up and excavated, and new roads being put in. Anyway, I'm not saying that's a bad or good thing. Too much development's bad, too little development's bad. So, people, by the way, one thing I can tell you, adjacency to development is always a sore spot. It's always has been. Not near as much as we used to hear in the old days. I mean, you had these farmers there for years, and all of a sudden, they have a bunch of machinery next to them. So, is your situation... Are you in a regular subdivision, or are you a large landowner?
No, we've got 31 acres.
Okay. How long have you been there?
My wife carries her business on here. And
How long have you been there?
I'm sorry?
How long have you been there? 31 acres.
I moved here in 1999.
Oh, so you have 31 acres in Franktown, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, what's the developer doing?
Well, they have got two sides. One is on the north side of us on Flintwood, and the other is directly across of the street.
So that would be north and what?
I'm sorry?
North and what? They're surrounding you north and east, north and west,
Yeah, north, and then across on the east side.
Okay, north and east. Okay, so what's going on?
Well,
are they
the
violating
east side,
anything?
I'm sorry?
Are they violating any ordinances?
No, not that I'm aware of.
So
No.
what are they doing?
Well, I've got a major erosion problem from the drainage that comes through the one culvert that we've got between two pastures.
All right. Now, because I've developed so much in my past life, they have to submit an excavation plan, an engineered excavation drainage plan, and all of the retention plan before it's approved.
And Douglas is big time on that. I just went through it. They drive around and look all the time.
And you went through it over one thing, one building. One building. Whereas when you're doing a subdivision, I remember I used to have to submit this engineered plan, and it had to show everything, like where you're going to retain, where is it going to flow, and if anything was going to be overloaded or something, they made you fix it. So I have to suspect they're not following the drainage plan, or what?
Well, I've looked at the 400 pages and looked at all the plans and stuff.
Well, I'm just asking a simple question. Do they have a pretty good drainage plan?
Well, they don't, in that my land has already suffered damage from it.
Okay, how much damage? What are you talking about damage? You're talking about erosion. How much are we talking? Seriously.
Oh, we're right on Bayou Gulch, and we've probably lost at this point, 100 feet.
Wow.
And we're about to lose a fence line.
Did you go to the county and have them inspect?
Well, I had 2 meetings with the county engineers,
Yeah.
and all I got from them was that they okayed the plan, so everything will be okay.
Well, you know what? Here's the unfortunate part. You don't get to fight them with other people's information, because the county is saying exactly what they should say. We approve the plan. They're following the plan. I mean, if they have up the temporary shielding, and if they're doing the excavating according to plan, you have to hire someone to see what they're doing and say, this is not according to plan. Otherwise, if the plan is causing you damage, now the plan could cause temporary erosion and all of that, but what the county is saying, when it's said and done, it's going to be fine. They might be wrong. But you have to fight them with your own intelligence. So do you have your own facts? Did you get an engineer?
No, I have. I'm hoping it's probably going to cost us an arm and a leg.
Well, I would say for an engineering report, it depends on the magnitude. How much frontage are we talking about? When I say frontage, adjacency. How much adjacency are we talking about between you and them? Is it 100 feet wide? I mean, I know you say you lost 100 feet inside your border, but how long is it? How long is the area of contention?
Well, we face probably...
I don't care where you face. I need to know, like, how much? Is it a mile? Is it a half? It's not a mile. Is it 500 feet? What is it?
I would estimate 200 yards. 200
yards. Yeah. So an engineering report like that is about 30 grand.
Yeah.
Well, maybe here's the other thing. Why not get with these folks if they're going to have a lot of, earth movers out there? Maybe they'll come over and reslope you or do whatever needs to be done. Like,
is anyone else being affected or just you?
Nope, we're the only property that's affected by any of them.
Okay, so you're saying that excessive drainage is coming off of their property and washing away yours?
Correct.
Well, you can go for an injunction. I mean, you could get an engineer to give you an immediate idea that you're getting irreparably harmed and go for an injunction until something can be done. Here's the problem. There are no steps, okay? They don't have, call this number, we'll come out and inspect, and then we'll determine. You already told the county you didn't like it. The county said they're following the plan, and if that's what they really told you, did you get that in writing?
No, that was in a sit-down meeting with the 2 engineers.
Now, the engineers with the county?
Yes.
Okay, did they have their engineer there, the other one, the other party?
No.
Okay.
No. And I have not been able to get any straight stories out of them. Everybody disavows having responsibility for this, that, or the other.
Well, what are you talking about? Responsibility for what? See, Roger, you're talking in too many vague terms. When you say they disavow, what are they disavowing?
Well, I tried to get in touch with the project
What
manager.
are they disavowing? I don't want to hear Roger, I want to help you. And I think one of the reasons is you're not giving them a target to focus on. I want to talk in real stuff. What are they doing? Give me a specific that they disavowed.
Well, I guess simply put, the one fellow that I tried to contact disavowed any connection with having any responsibility.
Well, but you're not even saying anything. Disavowed having any responsibility for. Well, are you talking about your child support? I mean, what are you talking about? Did you say to them, "Here is my specific problem," and I mean, what? I think that's your problem, Roger. You are not concentrating on a specific problem that has a specific solution. When you said they disavowed, what did they disavow?
Well,
okay, I think we know the problem. The problem is you're not defining it. Roger, you may get off this phone and say, you know what, that guy was a real jerk. But here's the deal, okay? You are not putting a handle on this problem. You are not focusing on, okay, here's what you do. You go and you narrow it down to this 300-yard area or whatever it is. Okay. And then you see what they're doing wrong in your engineer's opinion, not a full-blown engineering report. Get someone out there to talk and walk with you, take some photos and say, this area has been excavated, has been filled too high. There is no swale to keep the temporary retention of runoff. Therefore, I'm having excessive erosion here. I request that something be put here to divert temporary drain. That's what you have to do. These people, when you go in and just say, oh, blah, 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 they don't know what to do. Then they could very well write a letter to the developer and say, you know what, that's a reasonable demand. We want you to put a mound up here to divert drainage until you're done. Something like that. That's what I'm talking about, Roger. I'm only listening to one side, yours, and you haven't told me a problem.
Okay.
Roger, seriously. Get an engineer to walk with you, just a consultation, not a full-blown report. Take photos and notes, and give them an area to concentrate on, with some suggestions.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Ross Kaminsky.
Send over their dirt workers and just fix it, man. He's making this really hard.
Because he's talking in... People that can't solve a problem is because they can't define it.
Hey, Tom, that was Don on the phone, the nuisance law. Remember the nuisance law there? He's got an appointment today with the DMV. They want him to put up or shut up for $1,500. Do you want him on the air again? He's going to send today?
Yeah. Well, they told us, the innocent party, he shouldn't have to pay.
Right. Well, they $1,500 is what he's going to have.
So how's that an innocent party?
They're saying it's not an innocent party. That's how.
Do we have...
They're saying he should have never. I'm telling you exactly what that ass said. Was he should have known dropping it off at a house for work that it would all be issues.
No,
that's where they're standing.
Okay, he wants to know if he should cancel the appointment.
Get me a picture. Get all that stuff.
He's going to send you a
all right,
and I'll write it up. And I'll write it up. I have to do that.
No, I want to do a video.
He never gave me the interview.
Hey, tell him we want him down here tomorrow. We'll do a video. I want Tom and him to do a video.
You tell him to cancel the appointment then, or
Fix it 24/7. FixMyHome.com. That's going to be a very, very important thing. Why? Because FixMyHome.com will get you the best techs in the business at your home for free second opinions on any major deal. That means if you're told you need a furnace, an air conditioner, a water heater, or a panel changeout, or anything in between, they will look at it and give you the truth. And that's free, no call charge. Now, if you're having a problem, $39 will find that problem. And for that $39, they will give you a complete written solution with no obligation. If you decide to have the work done, they will apply the $39. It's just straightforward repairs from good people. FixMyHome.com. It's Fix It 24/7. 720-526-3939. 720-526-3939. Listen,
you ask, it's done.
I know. I wanna write that up though.
Yep.
There's
ugly.
It's got to be a video.
I know. You never sent us ever that segment on the nuisance law we asked for. You did?
I might have.
Okay, then it might be in your sent. Can you resend it to me, because I don't have it.
Yeah, it was, start your retirement planning and diminishing debt, August 22nd
Okay.
or 24th.
Could you do that again for me? Okay, thanks. Sorry. It was too big, so he sent a link, but I don't remember getting it. And I'll edit that sucker up, and I'll do a video with some inserts from
So
the
we might,
show.
like I say, if Mark wants them down here tomorrow and stuff, that'd be
Well, then we can use his video to insert with that.
Yeah, just get him here, question and
when
answer.
he's coming on the show.
No, I'm saying
Right, you
I
can
can't
tell-
video him through the phone.
No. You can tell him on the phone.
No, wait. What? Maybe instead of getting him on now, when is the hearing?
Today.
Oh my God.
No. Not the hearing. Appointment with the DA.
Yeah, with what's his face? What's his name?
Okay, I'll
Corey?
talk to him.
No, they're doing. They're. It's a full-blown okey doke, man.
Sure is.
It took me a while to get on your side there, because it is. It's truly so unbelievable. You go, there's no way. But this guy, are we sure he got in no trouble though? The other guy, we're sure the charges were dropped.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Well,
But yeah, let's find out.
But that's where they're
It makes
hanging
it-
their hat.
It makes it more egregious. But here's the deal, Mark.
It's crazy. I get it, man. It's
Even if the other
insane.
guy, even if the other guy was a criminal, it has nothing to do with.
And
this
I
guy.
agree. If that was me,
Oh my God.
wouldn't happen. No, I'm telling you, it wouldn't happen.
What would you do?
If it did happen,
Yeah.
oh my God, I
What would you do?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
What
That's
would
the
I do?
problem.
Right.
Yeah.
What can you do?
I'd hire an attorney.
Yeah.
But-
Principal. At some point, the principal,
And
I'd
that's what
have
it
to.
has to be.
I'd have to go.
It'd have to be principal because this car's worth
Yeah.
at most $7,000.
Well, you say what happened to me? I'd be here bitching about it every single day forever.
Sure, no, but that
I'd be hanging out down there at Corey's office.
you're special.
I'm special.
You're special needs.
You're special.
Then you have selection when it comes to lenders. They have more than 40 lenders you
No, I think this.
I
is-
heard most engineers get their degree in a Cracker Jack
You
box.
should see the top 20
Dumbest people?
No, mid-range. I'll bet you 17 are engineers.
What do you mean? What is this mid-range? What does that mean?
Mid-range is
Like in a race?
mid-career.
Like in a
Mid-career
Indy 500
salary,
race?
mid-career
What about
salary.
mid-career salary? What about
Like the top 20 of the top 20, like 17 are engineers.
So you're saying
of the top 20? How much they make? You mean?
Yeah.
Oh.
compared to what? Golfers? What are we talking about? You're
Everybody.
saying
College
Tiger
ed-
Woods makes less than these 17
Yeah,
engineers.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm saying.
He's saying average.
He's crazy.
You're talking average salaries.
Yeah,
Engineers
mid-career,
are-
they call them mid-career.
He's
salary.
saying John Elway makes less
Yes.
than the
No,
average
he's
engineer.
saying mid-career.
What's that?
Hi, Tom Martino. Your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK. Roger has one more question about this crazy thing where I feel sorry for him because I believe him. An adjacent developer is causing erosion damage on his property. I told him to get some evidence together, suggest some solutions, and present it. You had one more question?
I live
sir.
by him. Suzanne, give him my information off air, and maybe I'll swing by there and talk to
Okay,
him.
and maybe take some pictures. Go ahead, Roger. What?
I was curious what sort of engineer you would suggest.
Well, okay, that's a good question, actually. I don't know what kind you
Be a
call
civil
them.
engineer.
Yeah, okay, thank you. It's the engineer I used to hire to do all my work when I was developing a subdivision, and Mark just said civil engineer. That's probably what it is. We just had names that we had, and then we would use them. But it's someone who draws up subdivisions, drainage plans, road size, all that kind of stuff. So it's a civil engineer.
Okay.
Now,
I do
there
appreciate it
are,
very much.
but listen, there are several who have one or two man shops. It won't cost you an arm and a leg. Way back in the day, I'm just saying this name because this is who I used, and I'm not telling you he's still around, but David Archer was a name in Douglas County, and it was a popular, I don't mean popular with people, I just mean developers knew him. He knew what he was doing. He was very, very competent. And I'm looking up David Archer, Douglas County. Who knows if he might still have a firm.
I think I called
David Archer from Castle Rock. David Archer and Associates, Castle Rock. They are surveyors and such. They're more than surveyors, but he'll know who to send you to, even if he doesn't do it.
Fantastic.
Start there, Archer and
All right,
Associates. All right, man. 303-713-TALK. Todd, tell me about your internet scam, Todd.
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
Yeah, so it sounds like they call it a car wrap scam, but because
Oh, yeah.
I've listened to your show for so long, I know
Well, it's not so much a car wrap scam, no more than it is a secret shopper scam or whatever scam. It's simply giving you something that has purported value and asking you to give some of it back.
So this is a warning for the people out there, like you said.
What are they offering? I want to hear it.
So they sent a text message I responded to. It's like, sure, I'll use my car for advertising. And then they sent me over FedEx a check for about $4,000.
Mm-hmm. They want you to. What do they want you to do with the check? Deposit it and do what?
Exactly. Yes, because then the email follows that says, "Oh, I can keep 600 of this for myself, but then I'm supposed to go send off $3,300 to someone else and prove to them I've done that, and then we'll go from there." And it's just like, right, no. Not going to happen, but it's really hard.
And these checks, here's the mistake people make with these checks.
Yep.
They think, okay, I'm going to be smart. I'm going to put it in my account and wait 21 days, and then for sure I know it cleared. Not true. In fact,
really?
Yeah. In fact, they on purpose put a bad routing number on that check. That might be a genuine check, and the bad routing number puts it into what's called a dead file. And to this day, even though we have all this technology, the thing is, when something doesn't fit the technology, when it has a number no one recognizes, it goes into a file that has to be gone through by hand. And that can take up to 6 months. You could get a notice 6 months later that that check is bad.
Oh, and then my bank will charge me $31 because of that bad check.
Not just 31. No. They're going to charge you for the whole check. The whole check. So if you got a check for $6,000 and you kept 600 and wrote a check for the rest, you know, the $5,400, they, you know, that $5,400 you owe back, and it's called holder in due course. You're just going to be screwed.
Yeah, and so that's why I saw this, and it's never happened to me before. But it's really hard where I'm sitting here holding a $4,000 check. That
I know.
Warned me. They're like,
no matter how many times you hear it, you think, oh my goodness. Just like the IRS scam, you know, where your IRS funds are being withheld until you contact us, and no matter how many times I warn people, they think, really? 303-713-TALK. So what is TMS? Why is it called TMS, by the way? Dr. Bob Sammons. Dr. Bob, did you invent this? Can you put the mic where it's comfortable? You don't have to move to it. You can just move it anywhere you want. Who invented it?
The person who invented it was a good friend of mine named Dr. Tony Barker.
So you knew the guy that invented it?
Oh, he is still alive.
Was he doing something else and then this came about, or how did he invent it?
He is an engineer, and he was working in a university and with hospitals. And he was trying to come up with a machine that could fire neurons in the brain by magnetic pulse. Now, prior to that, you could use an electrical pulse, either on the arm or even on the brain, but that was very painful. So he says after 10 years of blue sky research, he came up with a machine in 1985, went to London, put it on a person's head, put it on the left side, looked at the right hand, since the left side of the brain controls the right side. He gave a magnetic pulse, and the hand twitched. He
could fire nerves with this electromagnetic pulse without an invasive therapy.
Absolutely.
Okay, because it used to be they would open up a brain and then touch certain parts and somebody would say or do something. Right now that can be done with electronic, but now people suffering from depression say, what the hell does that have to do with depression? Really, what does it have to do with depression?
Great question. Our body is an electrochemical organ. In other words, our nerves fire because of small electrical charges caused by ions flowing.
Okay.
So what this does is, instead of waiting for medicines to increase nerve cells to fire, this can go directly and hit those nerve cells in the brain and cause them to fire. Now, nerve cells in the brain are all or nothing. They either fire or they don't. So here, if you have enough magnetic strength, you can pulse that neuron and cause it to fire. And then you get a domino effect where that cell fires the next one down the road, and that's essentially how TMS works. we fire nerves in the part of the brain in a circuitry that we know is dysfunctional. It's just not working well. Think of the interstate highway. If you have ruts, if you have cracks, if you have bumps, you can still travel on it, but it's not functioning well. Same with circuitry in the brain. And with 30 years of research from Dr. Barker's original formulation and 11 years of practice, we know that if you give enough electromagnetic pulses, you fire those cells enough. We do 3,000 pulses a day. You do it over a long enough period of time, and we do 30 treatments, 5 days a week. People get significantly better.
Once you fire that part of the brain, does it unclog it? Does it become open forever?
I'd probably get a tickets to Stockholm if I knew the answer for that to get a Nobel Prize. In order to answer that directly, specifically, we have to pierce a normal brain with an electrode.
But it opens it up enough where the antidepressants you are taking, they work better.
It certainly seems like that, but it works as an antidepressant.
Right. No, I understand that. And in some rare cases, people can get off meds, but most of the time, it just makes their meds more effective to where they don't have to keep changing them.
I'm going to twist that just a half turn. What it does is it brings that depression under control. And once you've got that depression back under control, medicines have a greater chance of maintaining them.
How many people do you think, percentage-wise, suffer from med-resistant depression where they're still feeling like crap?
It's estimated probably about 20% of the patients in the population have failed 4 or more antidepressants. And with insurance companies, that's what they call treatment resistant. You have to have failed 4 or more antidepressants.
But this has been shown clinically to be more effective than just changing medicines.
Considerably.
Okay, we got more coming up.
This report is sponsored by...
Is it modern day electroshock? Well, I know it's better, but was that the root?
But Mark, that's what they try to do with electroshock, don't they?
Sure. What happens with it's not the same thing. You're looking for the same result. But with ECT, the problem is you have to put sleep, you have seizures.
It's taking a bucket, Mark. ECT is taking a bucket like that to make you wet, where all they have to do is get your beard wet. They do that.
So you're saying...
I'm sorry, I didn't get loaded. What do I have now? I'll look. Sorry.
But the answer is, it's almost as effective as ECT. ECT remains the best treatment we have.
Oh, not yet. Not yet.
Well, for big stuff, though. I mean, that's a major depression.
I thought they really couldn't control that.
Protection for your identity and devices. Join at LifeLock.com and use
okay, guys, coming up.
Off your first year.
Sheridan Auto Tech. That is a shop or 2 shops I know and love. Lakewood on Colfax, just west of Wadsworth, and Aurora on Havana, just south of 6th Avenue. I love it because Kevin Calkin is dedicated to just being a good person, and that just translates into his business. You know, the main thing you want with mechanics is honesty and integrity. For more than 20 years, that's what he has. Thousands of customers know it. Become part of the family at Sheridan Auto Tech. 303-455-7242. Send me that one, please. Thank you. Okay.
Do they still use stuff like LSD and stuff?
Oh, they've never really used it therapeutically. They are using the animal tranquilizer that people used to use back in the 60s and 70s.
The ketamine or whatever.
Ketamine.
Mark, how do you know that?
Because seriously, remember my computer store in Parker?
Yes.
There was a veterinarian next door. People would break in and steal his ketamine every 3 or 4 months.
Ketamine. What is it?
It's like a animal tranquilizer.
It's what they shoot them up before they put them to sleep.
Yeah. And what it does, but this can work within minutes of making people better.
That's crazy.
The damnedest thing you've ever seen, but it doesn't last. And
it's only while it's in your system?
Actually, this is
a short period of time. Yeah, when it's in your system, and then after a while, the shots fade. I have a severely depressed guy. Got better with TMS, but not completely. He then went for ketamine, and this guy was clear. He felt normal. and now he knows what it feels like, and he is more depressed.
Oh, really?
Oh, God, yes.
Well, because he realizes how depressed he is.
And he realizes how he could be.
That's freaky.
Oh, wow. Tell me it's freaky.
He made him feel normal, which actually made him worse.
More aware.
Because when he goes back, it's $500 cash pay. Insurance doesn't pay for it.
What is it, like a once-a-day pill? How do they administer it?
Well, I won't
Let's
tell you
ask
more
this
than
on the
no.
air, Mark, please. Would you not do all of this off the air? Because when we go to talk to him, he's going to say, without knowing it, as I said, he's going to think he talked about it and not repeat it. No, I'm a firm believer in not rehearsing. And it's not your fault. People do that all the time. They'll say, well, as I said, or they, in their mind, continue a conversation that no one has an idea what we were talking about.
I was contacted to do a ketamine clinic and refused to about 7 years ago. I mean, you make a lot of money. And I'm not opposed to it, but there's no end in sight, and a lot of times it only lasts for maybe 7, 8, or 9 infusions.
Oh, then the effects go away.
Yeah, the effects go away.
Now, what do you make of that? Why?
Because the body
just
man, we build resistance. We build resistance almost everything.
Absolutely.
Does one chocolate chip cookie satisfy you anymore?
The body does resistance, absolutely.
Yeah,
you keep on taking Tylenol, you'll slowly build up a resistance for it.
Sure, we call it.
Then why do people take a baby aspirin?
That's for blood thinning.
That's just blood thinning. Your blood doesn't build
tolerance there?
No.
Because it has the
because even with the other medications, the effect's still there. It's just psychologically we feel like, I mean, painkillers are fucking opiates.
Yeah, I know.
They're terrible.
People start doing handfuls of them.
I've built up a tolerance to you.
When I had my back problems years ago, 1 5-milligram tablet would just send me into space. I said, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. And then right before I just finally got the surgery, but I was taking 10 milligrams 3 times a day, and I never thought in a million years I could tolerate that. Then I met someone who was doing 100.
Oh no. Where'd you get that paper towel, man?
But then here's the problem with tolerance. Your heart doesn't know it. Your brain does, but your heart doesn't. So all of a sudden, boom, you're Prince.
Tight places, they can lift basement floors, they can repair cracks, all cracker jack, blood jacking, free
I have such a heart for people that are in pain, that true pain.
Well, let me tell you. I use the medicine Suboxone, which, another story, I've had 3 of my patients kill themselves this year.
Oh, jeez.
Because they couldn't get the pain medicine. Doctors are so afraid, and they're made so afraid of the opioid crisis. Doctors are taking these.
No, then they're not having people do it. But you know, here's the thing: there are some advanced doctors now who say, well, let's see, off-level, what is it called, buprenorphine?
Buprenorphine. Yeah, that's what I use.
Off-label buprenorphine has pain-relieving qualities, and hold on, here's the greatest thing about it: it doesn't build tolerance. So this one doctor said, instead of starting you on opiates and getting you hooked and then having to switch you over, this is your pain med. And you'll never build a tolerance.
Yeah, Dr. Smart as I am.
No, he is.
Good.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Okay, let's talk about depression here. Somebody emailed me and said, does it, okay, you said it helps with depression to open up the neural pathways so the medications are more effective. Does it work with other forms of mental illness? And one mentioned schizophrenia specifically. But let's talk about other mental illnesses. Could it help with it by making your brain work better?
Answer is yes, but there's a lot of research being done. If that person wants to go to my website, tmssolutions.com.
Right. And by the way, he's not here selling this to you because you must go through a doctor and get a prescription. This is a conversation to have with your doctor. Okay, what will they see at tmssolutions.com?
If they go to, I've got a segment called Solute, and it's free, and it lists all the clinical areas, TMS research, double-blind research, real clinical research is being done. And they do it on schizophrenia, they do it on dementia.
Okay.
We have recently had approval for obsessive-compulsive disorder.
Oh, wonderful.
There is talk that by the first of the year, we may have bipolar depression approved.
Good.
So there are a number of other issues. Schizophrenia, there's research on it. I see that sometimes they can get behavioral change, but they're not significant. At least it doesn't look significant yet.
So if you have any questions, call us, 303-713-TALK. Now, LaRonda has a problem with one of my bugaboos, and this is home warranty issues. LaRonda, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. Thanks for taking the call.
What's happening?
I've had Choice Home warranties for about 4 years. Last year, my furnace gave me a lot of problems. And
let me guess, it is not covered by your home warranty.
That is correct.
And it's because they said it was a pre-existing problem or something.
That is correct as well.
God, I hate home warranties.
I filed a judgment against them.
Wait, a judgment against them? You took them to court?
I did, but they never showed.
Well, that's a good thing. You got a default judgment against a home warranty company?
I did.
What's the name of the home warranty company?
Choice Home Warranty.
Choice. And where did you get Choice Home Warranty?
They had sent me some literature within the mail.
Okay, so you got solicited, you signed up. How much did you pay for it?
I paid, in the beginning I paid $87.
A month?
That was to cover me. No, the $87 was to cover me a half a month and then the next month. And then the month after that I paid $39.88 a month.
Okay, hold on a second. We'll come back to that. And I'll tell everyone, there's home sales are at a peak. I want to tell you about home warranties. Everyone needs to hear this about home warranties, please. And if you think, oh, Tom, I've heard it before, no, please, let's listen so you can tell others. Coming up.
What do you think a 08 Ford that has been salvaged?
Well, it depends on how they salvage it.
No, I mean salvage from an accident, not like hail.
No, but I mean, if they rebuilt it properly, it's just not going to have market
value.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So let's say you spend $5,000 on it,
right?
And someone hits you, and once again destroys it. What do you think their insurance company's going to pay out?
Well, their insurance company will bring it back to pre-accident condition, which was a rebuilt salvage, which is less than a normal one.
Yeah, but how would they possibly come up with what it is?
It's easy. I mean, that car had a value prior to the accident. It's
whatever it sold for then.
Right.
That the only value you're going to lay down on it is what it sold for.
Okay, no, because the buyer might have been uninformed. So what you do is you take the normal retail. Let's say a normal retail on that car was $6,000, and then let's say because it was salvaged, the true value they could have never gotten more than $4,500. That I don't think the insurance company would be on the hook for more than $4,500. Remember, it's the only.
I don't even know how they'd come up with $4,500 is where I'm going.
Oh, I'm
actually going the opposite.
They would just do it themselves. I mean,
I'm saying I'd offer them $1,000 and tell them to hit the bricks.
But let me ask this: does the insurance company know it was a pre-salvage vehicle?
It's never happened. They're thinking of buying a salvage vehicle.
Okay, they're always going to have diminished value, always.
Yeah, I know. But trying to come up with that dollar amount almost seems impossible.
Listen to this one. I have a friend who bought a hail-damaged vehicle and got a great deal, right? The quarter panel was hurt in an accident. Her fault. The quarter panel had hail damage. Guess what she gets in the accident?
Zero. Yeah, because it's already worthless.
So when you buy a hail-damaged vehicle and you think you're beating the system and you get in an accident, boom, sorry. In fact, they could even argue that the whole vehicle had less value. So not only are they denying the quarter panel, but they would decrease the value in general over any kind, like especially if it was totaled.
Right, but should they have taken the damage thing and then minus the hail damage that was for like flexi-death?
Yes.
That's what they should have done.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
Well, no, because they had so much hail damage. Just 4 dings. 4 dings will give you. I mean, if you have a lot of damage, you can equate to the aftermarket quarter panel. They could easily do that. Easily eat up your insurance.
But they wouldn't just do that quarter panel?
Let me explain. The quarter panel, $2,500. Insurance, her deductible is $1,000, and now she has $1,200 in damage. That's $2,200.
But would they say just that damage, hail damage on that quarter panel?
That's right.
Or,
that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Which is $1,200.
Okay.
And 1,000 deducts. Of course, if you look, you heard him say on a hood, you could spend like over $2.
Right. No, but then they say it would just replace the hood.
Right. That's right. But on that quarter panel, that's what they're arguing, that they would have replaced the quarter panel, which gives it zero value. Now, you could argue for a few $100s, but then it really, it's just not worth. If you buy a hail damaged vehicle, if that discount doesn't equal the exact amount it would take to fix it. But no, if it's the exact amount to fix it, then you're getting no deal. It's a normal retail deal. Why buy it? So it has to be more than that to give you incentive. Why would you bother? I mean, by the time, so let's say you have $3,000 worth of damage, you buy the car, and they give you a $3,000 discount, why bother? Just buy another car that's not damaged. If they give you a $6,000 discount, now you start thinking, well, that might be worth it, because you can fix the damage for $3,000, and you're still going to have diminished value. So let's say you have a little diminished value of $2,000, so now you're getting a $1,000 benefit. But to me, it's not worth it.
You know that hail damage that we had out here, that hail we had out here about, I don't know, 6-8 months ago?
The one that we got hit?
Yeah. So I had like maybe 12 hits or 15 hits.
Yeah.
Now I only have like 3 or 4. They popped out.
Because of sun?
I guess. Just
holy crap. Now, what car did I have?
And he said that.
Wait, I had my Chevy at the time.
He said some of them and stuff do pop out by themselves.
I was told that these G-Wagons don't get much damage because they're so freaking hard. Have you ever seen the metal on those?
Then it would be tough to
yes, it
do
would.
the paintless.
But did you ever feel the sheet metal on that? You ought to. It's hard to close doors.
Oh, really?
It is such a beefy car. Do you know the reason they were made for military use. The Shah of Iran commissioned them, or the Shah, or somebody commissioned them like that, and they made 300 of them, and then people started liking them. They were made by a French company, and then Mercedes bought them. And there's a company that buys them from Mercedes and does their own version of it. You know, like they used to do with Corvettes. A company would buy a Corvette and redo it. It was called a Greenwood.
Same with the Mustang.
Oh, do they have companies that buy Mustangs?
Yeah, the Shelby.
That was a separate company?
Yeah, Shelby would buy them and I think do whatever, then sell them.
Just like Greenwood did with Corvettes.
Or the Mercedes one, yours.
Barbarous. Right, no, Brabus. Brabus. B-R-A-B-U-S.
Yeah.
They buy
German.
them. They buy them and they market them under a new name.
They do a great job.
Those are pretty cool though, man. I was reading about those.
Yeah, but God, they're too expensive. They're too expensive for what you get.
For how long? 4 years.
How much is aftermarket worth after all?
40 times.
And you know, if you think about it, how foolish are we, just for transportation, that we care about what it looks like on the outside, how it's shaped? Isn't that weird how we are drawn to how things are? I mean, I can see the interior wanting, something that has creature comfort, but it's funny how you look at the outside and think, yeah, I like that, but it's still just driving you around, don't you?
We always said it's the extension of your penis.
Yeah, it's more than that too. I think for guys, the younger guys truly believe that it's a symbol of their station in life. God, these Bravuses look really good, Mark.
Yeah, they're cool, man.
How much more than book are they, I wonder? They even redo the interiors on some of them with carbon fiber and stuff. And look, they take the Mercedes emblem off and put a B on it. So they're buying these Mercedes and then redoing them and selling them under another name.
Choice One warranties are pretty big.
Okay, I got to see how much these cost. These are. I'll bet you they're $200. Let's see. New Brabus price.
Call Brent Ivinson and his team at 303-867-7000, 867-7000, idealhomeloans.com.
So how would you say she's going to collect on that sort of questions?
I don't know where they're located.
What does it mean to you when they say call for price? It means it's too much to tell you here. We got to talk you into it. Don't bother. We can't tell you right now. Okay, 250,000 euro. Is American more?
What is a euro? About $1.13 now? Or how much is a euro?
Very close to that.
$250,000. Oh my God, nothing but that. Hello, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere in this universe where we are solving problems, answering questions, and taking complaints. This hour brought to you by One Clear Choice Garage Doors. And One Clear Choice is the company I have at my house. Whenever I get a new house, you know what I do? Have them come in. Just redo the door. I don't want to know. Just go through them. They do that Martino inspection free. They'll go through the entire garage door and tell you what you need or don't need, and then they'll put their little sticker on there. OneClearChoiceDoors.com. Welcome to the show. This is where we make recommendations. We also tell you who to avoid. We help you solve problems. We discover new things. I love healthcare. That's why we have TMS Solutions on today. TMSSolutions.com. And home warranties are one of my bugaboos. I hate them. I hate home warranties. Let me go through this, please, very quickly. Everyone listening, take notes. This is true. Okay, I like to give very simple examples. Let's say you buy a home and you have 10 appliances, 10 major systems or appliances. So you're paying a premium based on a home with 10 systems. Now, I'm going to use easy numbers, please, because this isn't real. But let's just say, so $100 a month based on 10 appliances or 10 systems, roughly $10 each. So you're covered, right? Okay, you're not. Let's say you have a problem with your dishwasher 6 months down the road. No, a year down the road. And they say, oh, we noticed this dishwasher has a pre-existing condition, therefore it's not covered. Now, going forward, do they reduce your premium to $90 because they took one thing away? Mm-mm. Do they give you a rebate for that $10 you were paying for that dishwasher during that time? No. You still pay $100 a month, but you don't have 10 things covered, you have 9. Okay, now let's say another 2 years down the road, your water heater goes out. They say, not covered. You see, this was a manufacturer's defect, or this was normal wear and tear, or this was something, lack of maintenance, whatever it is, or the sacrificial anode wore out, that is prematurely, whatever, we're not covering it. So, do you get a refund of that $10 for that appliance over that time? No. You're still paying $100 a month based on 10 appliances, but actually only 8 of them were covered. Let's keep going. I had a guy one time who was paying a premium and virtually nothing was covered. Nothing. Zero. It almost sounds like some of these health insurance plans that we have. I used to pay $600 a month for nothing. I never, ever, when I went to the doctor, they'd fill out the thing, and I'd get the EOB, and the EOB says this: yes, you're paying us $600 a month. Thank you very much. No, this is not covered. I have never, ever had anything covered under Obamacare, ever. The only reason I have things covered now is because I'm on Medicare. Mark, do you ever get anything covered? Did you manage to find a plan that covers you with health?
No, not until you hit your deductible. So my deductible, I think, is $7,500 per person. Maximum out-of-pocket for the family is $12,000.
So really, you're paying for the privilege of not having coverage.
Oh, Obamacare screwed us all.
Yeah, you know, and except for the people, this is the one good thing about Obamacare that helped.
What?
It opened up Medicaid for a lot of people.
That's fine.
So whenever we talk about changing health care, by the way, what you hear about are the people that will not get Medicaid anymore. But if the vast majority of people that are hurt by it...
Yeah, but these 20-somethings that say, hey, I'm only paying $80 a month or $50 a month, maybe so, but wait till you end up in the hospital, and then you got to pay that $6,500 deductible.
It may as well be $100,000.
It might as well be.
And then we're talking about home warranties. This is what's happening to LaRonda. I tell people this: never, ever, ever buy a home warranty. Okay, now people are going to say, but I had this covered, I had that covered. That's true. You're going to toss the dice. I'd rather that you take that premium and put it in the bank, in a separate account, or have fun day trading. Here's the other thing, okay? It's better than nothing in some cases. So what am I saying? It's better than nothing in some cases. In rare cases. If a home warranty company, I had this argument with Blue Ribbon. I said, why don't you do this? Why don't you go out and inspect the appliances, and you say to them, there are 10 major systems and appliances in this home. 5 of them have problems. If you fix those problems right now, we will cover all of them. If not, we're only going to cover these, and you get charged appropriately. But instead, one charge fits all. They're saying to you, you pay us now every month, and we'll let you know what's covered sometime in the future. I mean, is that crazy? That's exactly what they do. LaRonda is living proof. So, what was wrong with your home, your home warranty? You had something wrong with what?
Furnace.
Furnace.
The furnace.
And what did they say they will cover?
They said that they wouldn't cover anything, but they would give me $300 towards a new
Well, that's
furnace.
not, at least they're rebating some money, right? At least they're rebating some money. That's better than nothing. But did they give you a reason they're not covering it?
They said that the pilot light, something with the pilot light. And so when I called in the plumbing, the air heating and air conditioning people out,
yeah.
The gentleman said, well, did they take the unit apart?
Of course not.
No.
No. Here's what they do. When somebody calls with a claim, they go into their denial machine and they go, okay, let's come up with one. Pilot light. Somebody else, lack of maintenance. It's like they don't know. I'll bet you they didn't even send someone to the home, or did they?
Yes, they did.
Well, that's rare. Okay. So
yes, they did.
You're not going to like what I have to say. It's not worth fighting. I would drop the warranty right now, save that money. I would take the $300, drop the warranty, and move on.
Well, I have a judgment, so I'm going to go after my judgment.
No, that's right. I forgot about that. You sued them.
Yeah, but the company's in New Jersey, she said.
But how did you get into small claims court? They never challenged venue. Mark, if they never challenged it, I believe that default stays,
well, you
right?
still have to go to New Jersey and attempt to collect.
Well, you get a. How about we get a collection attorney in New Jersey, and how much is the judgment for?
The court awarded me $15,000.
You know, this woman, she's got a judgment.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
$15,000. That's not small claims, then.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
It's called Special Civil Unit.
Wait a minute.
But it's ran just like small claims.
Can you tell us more about that? What county?
Middlesex.
Where?
New Jersey.
Okay.
Edison, New Jersey.
Are you in Edison?
I am not. I'm in Denver, Colorado.
Then you sued them there?
Yeah, that's why venue wasn't an issue.
Did you fly out there?
No, I did a motion to appear by phone.
LaRonda, you're my hero. Honest to goodness. LaRonda, you are one hell of a go-getter. I love it. No, seriously, I'm not kidding. You got a legit judgment out in Jersey by doing a telephonic appearance. This is cool. Do you know now you can domesticate that judgment to Denver, to Colorado? I
did not know that.
I wish Frank. Let's ask Frank. Isn't it Frank, right? I always get that wrong.
Frank Ball.
Frank Ball. Now, by the way, people who try to find him on the referral list, you're not going to find him. Not because he's not great, but he's a collection attorney for mainly businesses, you know? So every once in a while, he'll take a big judgment from somebody and help collect it, and he hounds people. Can we ask Frank what her next steps are? 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. Got a few emails about TMS Solutions, which is a magnetic pulse therapy, for lack of a better word, non-invasive therapy for really making your brain more optimum for medications. They help med-resistant sufferers of depression instead of just adding medications. And we'll talk more about that coming up.
This report is sponsored.
She did a telephonic appearance. Mark, we got to make a note of that so other people might be able to utilize that.
That's
I
crazy.
wonder how many courts would allow that.
I'm shocked.
I absolutely love it.
How does she know about that in New Jersey?
I don't know. She did research. She sounds like she's not going to take no for an answer.
She nailed it.
Yeah. She sounds like a good... Gotcha.
Drive. And downtown, southbound I-25 slow, south of I-70, traveling down towards Spear. Weather forecast. Going to be hot today. Be careful out there. A high near 97.
Good comment.
Cloudy overnight, a low around 65. Right now, a few clouds with 87.
Did Don hang up?
630 K-How.
Don the nuisance law?
Don who?
The
Oh,
nuisance law?
shoot, he's still there. I'm sorry, but I have to, okay.
Is there any way I can...
Okay, got it. Something coming up here.
Join at lifelock.com and use promo code RISK to get 10% off your first year.
You've heard me talk about Everlast Siding, and when I tell you it is the best siding on the market, it is. I love it more than any. I haven't seen anything, let's put it this way, there might be a new one that comes out better, but right now Everlast Siding is the best. A lifetime of durability, color impregnated through and through, it's color fast, it's waterproof with a rich wood texture and feel. And what I love about K&H Home Solutions, about the company, is that they deal with this siding, so both make a winning combination. And right now, this month, they have it at the lowest price they've ever had, 40% off retail. Really, call them for details. 40% off retail, and you will get Everlast Siding. You don't have to have it this month, but you have to call this month about it. 303-421-7100. Now that's if you want to ask details on the financing and stuff, because they have low-cost financing. But here's the other deal. You can make your own appointment with no obligation at khwindows.com, khwindows.com. I heard a microphone. No, not yours. Okay. Okay.
Mine.
I heard somebody breathing. I don't know. Maybe it was my imagination, because nobody's mic is on.
Is that...
Oh, you turned it off? Okay.
Yeah, I guess I thought you said we were on and I turned mine on.
Oh, no problem. Yeah,
just
just make it's not an emergency or anything, but just make sure it's, because I hear background noise and it sounds hollow.
So during the conversation, you don't got to go every time.
No, but you leave it on while we're talking and then turn it off. Yeah. I know when I said we have TMS Solutions, you thought I was going to go to you. So this home warranty woman, I'd like to get Frank on for her. That's good. Okay, so I'll take Don. Oh, you don't care about it. I'll take Don coming up. That's good. And then we have New Mexico summons. That sounds...
Oh, on that one here, that's the New Mexico summons.
What is it?
It's not him.
Oh, but he got the summons.
Right.
Huh. They totally just got it wrong?
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
Interesting. I've been sitting here all this time.
Hey, hey Doc, do you think you could do that TMS for pedophiles? And make it so they don't have that urge?
Why? Is there something tied to the brain?
I don't know. Why do some people think like that?
People do think it's tied to the brain, because a guy, John Hopkins, I'm going to block his name. He used to do hormone therapy. They do castration. This was a chemical castration. So you do that because it takes away hormones from some part of the brain they think is affected. So the answer is yes. Right now what we do is that we can send pulses into some areas of the brain, but it only goes so far.
And addiction, it could help.
There's research looking at coming in from two areas, so you have 60% here, 40% here, and instead of being in the middle, it will be more deeper than we can go now. Now that's in research. Once we have the ability to target deeper brain structures, the answer is absolutely. Because everything in our body is like a computer. Instead of 1 and 0s, cells are either excitatory or inhibitory.
Are you the only one really marketing this right now? Are you it?
No, there's
are there
two other people in town, one in Boulder.
But they're the same technology.
Same technology.
Oh, okay. And around the country, then there are several.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, there are a number of people. We have a society that has 700 members.
Is there this machine that I saw? Does everyone use that machine?
No. There's 7 different machines. When I change it with patients, I say it's the difference between being a wok and a stove. If you get a $300 gas stove or $3,000, that makes a difference to you. If you're the wok, it's the same thing. So it's the same magnetic pulse. The machine that I'm buying most of now is much easier to use. It can do what we call...
Okay. Mark, do you remember your questions you asked earlier? When we talk, I want you to bring them up again. Hi, I'm Tom Martino. We have somebody who really was aggressive on this collection. I love it. Not on the collection, but on the judgment. Frank Ball is someone we have on the show often. He's a collection attorney, I think one of the best in the business. And as I said, it's mainly used by commercial and businesses, but I'd like to pick his brain on this. Frank, welcome to the show. I love what LaRonda did, okay? She got a home warranty. She didn't like it. She went, somehow filed a court case in New Jersey. They allowed a telephonic appearance, and she got a judgment for $15,000 against this home warranty company because they wouldn't do her furnace. She said it was breach of contract, blah, blah, blah. So, LaRonda, you got a default judgment how long ago?
It happened in February of this year.
Okay. Now, how did you serve that company?
So the courts in New Jersey do their own service. So the court, their sheriff, serves the home warranty.
All right. Now, Frank, she got a default judgment for $15,000 against a company there, and it's a judgment filed in New Jersey, LaRonda?
Yes.
What would you do with that, Frank?
Well, you have to go where the money is, Tom, and probably the money is in New Jersey if the company is in New Jersey.
You can't domesticate it to Colorado?
Well, you could, but there's no money in Colorado. Unless this outfit has a license to do business in Colorado and it's got an office in Colorado.
Well, that's how. I don't know if they have an office, but LaRonda, your home is in Colorado, right?
That's correct.
Isn't that Okay, go ahead, Frank.
Sorry. It really depends on if there's money here. A lot of these outfits, they'll have a place in Texas, they'll have a place in New Jersey, they'll have a place in New York, but there's no money here. They do business here, but this is not where they keep the money.
Oh.
You have to find where the money is. Say you want to do a bank garnishment. You could domesticate it here, but if they don't bank here in Colorado, there's not going to be a bank where you can take their money.
What happens if the bank is a national bank like Wells Fargo? Would it matter?
Oftentimes it does not matter. Oftentimes if they have a Wells Fargo account and you garnish them here in Colorado, it goes for wherever the money is. That'd be okay if that's really correct. The best way to do it, though, if there was a higher amount, you'd probably want to hire a lawyer, and you might want to consider hiring a lawyer in New Jersey anyway. They may charge you a third or 30%, but that way you wouldn't have to do anything. You'd have to pay the cost, which maybe be a couple $100, and then they could get your money. They take the 30% cut, and they could give you the rest. And plus, on that judgment, there's probably interest. So the way the paradigm is supposed to work, the interest accumulates, the collection lawyer gets the interest or whatever it is, depending on the time frame, and you get your money. So if the money is in New Jersey, probably because the corporation is in New Jersey, that may be the easiest and quickest way to go about doing it.
And how does she find out where the money is if she didn't hire an attorney? Her next step would be interrogatories?
Well, you got to know where it is. I just look them up, and I'd look up, just like you do the Secretary of State here in Colorado, I'd do the Secretary of State there in New Jersey and see where they're located. And then from where they're located, then that'll give you a better idea where their main business office is, where to pursue them.
And if you pursue them, in your interrogatories, can you ask wide open questions like, where are your bank accounts?
Of course. Yeah, you're finding out where all the money is. You bet. When I do interrogatories for people, I do them similar to a financial affairs affidavit in a domestic case that basically says what money, what's your income, where do you spend it, and what are your assets. That way you can make a deal and say, more for an individual, you're making this much money and you're spending this much money, so it's fair if you pay this much money on a monthly basis. For a corporation, it's a little different because if they have the money, they should pay her. For a corporation, $15,000, they should be able to write a check.
But the problem with that is they're not registered with the Secretary of State. In New Jersey, I spent 2 hours on the phone with the Secretary of State in New Jersey. There's no record of any type of choice home warranty. I've contacted 8 different attorneys that have dealt with choice home warranty within New Jersey, and they all state that choice hides their assets under umbrella. They call it an umbrella, whatever that is. They are not registered with the state of Colorado to even do business in the state of Colorado. So there's another issue that I have because I'm not the only person that's had this problem.
Why don't you try to find a collection attorney in Jersey?
I have, but they want a third. It's like, okay, I give you a third.
A furnace isn't going to cost you $14,000.
No,
you know what?
It's not.
30% of zero is, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What is it?
Zero.
Frank means 100% of zero is nothing, right? Yeah. 100% of zero is not going to get you anything.
Right. That's why if you give away 30% and you really get a check, well, you're better than 190%.
No, I would definitely do that.
On their own.
I would definitely do that. Thank you, Frank Ball, attorney at law. Now, listen. I want to take this problem really quickly here because he's going to court, or a hearing, I'm sorry. Is it a formal hearing or informal hearing? Don, what is your next step right now? And then I'll explain the background.
Okay, I'm supposed to meet Carlos, the DA, at 1 o'clock. I'm supposed to meet him at 1 o'clock.
All right, here, good. If you're going to meet the DA at 1 o'clock, we're going to tell you what we found out from the director of this program, the Denver Nuisance Department, or whatever you call it. But here's the deal. They were on the air, and unless they're lying, this should happen, but they certainly were contradicting themselves. Mark did some research, kind of undercover, just calling and saying, I need to know more about this, and he said he was a friend of yours, which he is. I mean, you know what I mean, we became your friend, and he asked about this case. Here's the bottom line, okay? If for those listening, we believe that the Denver nuisance abatement law is unfair and it should be modified, okay? Because it says when a property is used in the commission of a crime, they get to keep the property. It becomes a civil matter. But here's the dichotomy here, okay? It was supposed to be for a drug dealer who has an SUV filled with drugs, or an airplane they use to smuggle things, or trafficking people, or whatever. But what it turned out to be is just an excuse to get and keep stuff until the owners pay hostage fees, or they just pay. And here is how it works. They have to pay their ransom because we had one case where I tell this story all the time. Guy pulls into a parking lot at a liquor store, goes into the liquor store to buy liquor on payday. His friend, who's sitting in the passenger seat, starts talking to a policewoman who's undercover as a prostitute. He gets arrested for soliciting a prostitute. They impound the truck. The guy says, wait a minute. The guy says, wait a minute, this is my truck. He was sitting in the passenger seat. They said, no, it was used in the commission of a crime. Now, the guy who was charged with soliciting a prostitute, the charges were dismissed. He wasn't found not guilty. They were dismissed. However, because the abatement, the acquisition of the truck was taken under a civil suit, they said the criminal suit has no bearing on it. So they're actually saying, once we get it, we don't have to let it go, even if the underlying case, crime, is dismissed or the person is found not guilty. We've had several of these cases where one guy loaned a truck to his uncle. His uncle's driving down the street, gets stopped. He's a scofflaw. Failure to appear on several traffic tickets. They kept the guy's truck. We've had numerous issues where people's property, the property is kept unjustly. They get to keep it unless you pay hostage fees, ransom. Right. Don, you took your car to be repaired at an auto mechanic who works out of his house. That mechanic, they said, was an outlaw because his license was suspended, and he drove your truck or car, therefore they're impounding it. You said, what the hell? Why should I pay for that? So they want $1,500 from you. And listen, the case against that mechanic, let me get this straight. Was it dismissed?
Yep, they didn't even go to court. They gave him a deal. They they dismissed that case.
Okay, now, and no one actually saw him drive, so it was dismissed. And listen to this one. They're still keeping your truck, right?
Right. They still keeping my car.
Your car.
Telling me I got to pay $1,600.
Now, when we talked to the person in charge of this program, along with the PIO, Public Information Officer, they said that there are provisions for innocent owners or whatever, Mark, whatever they called it. For those who are innocent, they shouldn't have to pay or anything. And if this isn't the case of someone innocent, nothing is. But when Mark talked to the attorney pretending to be your friend or saying he's your friend, what did the attorney say, Mark?
Well, he said it doesn't really matter. It's a civil action. I mean, the same thing they told you when you had him on the air. So he was very proud of Denver's laws, by the way.
And he said this guy, Don, he even went so far as to say, well,
he should have known not to drop it off at a home mechanic. That's what he was
But does that mean you drop it off at a home mechanic that you should have your car impounded? See, he went way beyond the law. This guy, what was his name?
I thought it was Corey, but I forget.
Corey Nelson, was it, or something?
I don't remember. He also said this. He was saying that because this guy could have ran over a child, there wouldn't have been any insurance involved. Someone else could have suffered because this guy dropped it off at a home mechanic.
You can't impound a car because of what could have happened.
Hey, it could have happened.
I mean, think how ridiculous that is. These people are out of control. Now, what date was that on? They have to go to the podcast and listen to this interview. These people, they said I railroaded them. They said that what did they call it, an ambush interview? It was nothing but, in fact, in the beginning, Suzanne, did I not say, I want to stay from the outset that I don't want to be an ambush interview. I hate this law. I think it's unconstitutional. I think it's wrong. I just want to tell you where I stand so you don't feel like I'm going to do a sneak attack. I literally said those words. And then I started asking them questions. And they're like, and
then he called it a hit job, Tom.
Yeah, hit job. No hit job. I told him right up front, I thought the law sucked. And then they said, but we have a provision for innocent people. They don't. Don, I want you, when you go there today, you tell them, well, Tom Martino interviewed the director of the program who said, if I'm innocent, I shouldn't have to pay. I mean, I want to...
That's exactly what they said, and I even clarified, so they don't impound anything, nothing.
Ask them if you can record the conversation. Actually, you can do it without asking them because there's no law against that. In Colorado, there's a one consent. You can record all you want. I would like to know the reason you, as an innocent person, have to pay to get your vehicle back when first you had nothing to do with it, and second, the underlying case was dismissed.
Right.
I mean, they have your car.
Right. And what they do is they've been taking these people's cars, and like myself, and then if I can't come up with the money, then they'll auction it off at the auction every week. They got a auction every
They sell it. They sell it. Yet they were proud to say, well, this is not a forfeiture. Of course it is.
It's an abandonment.
Here's the deal, man. Here's the deal. It is so wrong. Why aren't we seeing this on local news? Why? Because it takes some brains. It takes a little work. It's not a gotcha story. It's not a mommy soccer story. It's just, you don't hear stories like this because it does take a little bit of effort. You know, it just makes me sick.
Okay, so are you going to bring them back, Tom? I'll just tell them to come in tomorrow here then?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a good time?
I want them to use
before the show or after.
Before the show.
Or have them in for the show. Who cares?
Is this Excel Roofing or Excel Cleaning Services? Okay.
You know what happened, though? He lost his dream of becoming a banker.
This is so wrong.
Here we go. Sex robots with full AI hit market capable of replacing humans.
You know what? I think that's better than prostitution.
I bet they'd be cheaper. Honey, can you bring me out to dinner? No.
clouds above in Denver and 87. With your traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner, 630 K-How.
Westera Credit Union believes everyone should have the information they need to manage their money. Westera was started by teachers 85 years ago, and they're still committed to helping people learn. Call Westera with your questions.
Doc, what do you think the next biggest breakthrough is going to be with the human mind?
I'm Tom Martino for Excel Roofing. I love Excel Roofing because I know the owner, Jay. I know him personally. Our kids grew up together, but I'll tell you what, he runs his company like every company should be run. Excel Roofing, 303-761-6400, or Excel, as in excellent, excelroofing.com, long or short. It's locally owned and operated since 1993. More than 30,000 satisfied customers, and I'm one of them. In fact, I could be counted as more than one because I've had him at several homes. He's been on my referral list from day one. It's the roofer that I've used, and Jay has always been accessible directly to his customers, and he is an insurance claim specialist. He's not going to go there and say, hey, don't worry, I'll work with the insurance company. No, he'll work with you. He gives you a full and complete estimate. Excel Roofing. 303-761-6400, 761-6400, excelroofing.com.
Tom, did you see that email I forwarded to you
No,
from
no.
that freaking engineer?
Oh, yeah.
Good grief.
Oh, I haven't seen it. Did you send it to
From
me
one
too?
engineer to another.
Rehab
Also,
post-stroke.
line...
Oh, rewiring the brain. That's kind of cool.
Line 3 is Junebug. Said you would know who that is. He's got a problem with the NBA.
Okay.
The NBA.
He says, tell Tom it's Junebug. He'll
Not
know
the
who that is.
WNBA, the NBA.
I hope I got that right.
See what's wrong with this
What
nuisance
they,
law?
what they do with rehab, you're trying to get muscles to work after stroke. At Harvard, they pulse here, they have an external pulse coming down. And not only can you increase the muscle movement, but it lasts. So you turn this light off, it goes off. With this, what they call a dual pairing, you get what we call plasticity, and that the change you get can last for an hour. Now, clinically, I mean, that's nice, but that's insignificant. But you ask what the next thing is. Over time, if we can identify the muscles, and by using this brain plasticity, increase the movement, that's a breakthrough. Post-stroke, one of the things we're doing now is that if you have a tissue that's dead, you get a stroke there, but the tissue around it, kind of like you drop a rock in a pond, spreads out. And the brain cells around it and tissues are damaged. What research appears to be showing is if you stimulate that area, you can't grow back dead cells, but you can hasten the healing around that area, and therefore, you know how some people, they can't walk and then 6 months later they're walking after a stroke or something like that. That's that plasticity. It looks like you can increase that healing time, which I think is incredible. I mean, it's in research, people are doing it. It's not ready for prime time like most of the things.
I wonder if that would help with Alzheimer's as well.
You know, they've done research. One of the things happens with people with Alzheimer's, depending on how advanced it is they become depressed. And I've had multiple people with Alzheimer's get treated for depression. Doesn't do much for their memory, makes their quality of life better. The oldest we've done is a 93-year-old woman here in Denver. We got a call after Thanksgiving. She completed treatment right before Thanksgiving. Got a call from she and her daughter after Thanksgiving said it's the best Thanksgiving they've had in 20 years.
Wow.
So when we get old, we get depressed. Tom was kind of talking about this before. Psychologically, and my PhD is in clinical psychology, depression comes from loss, psychologically. It also has a biological component. So when you get older, you have loss of activity, loss of being pain-free, loss of friends, loss of work.
I think getting older in itself is an inducement to depression.
That's what he's saying. It's the loss.
Yeah, and I have patients say the only time they come see me is when I get out of the house to the grocery store and a doctor. I call them being under house arrest.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 3 Talk, 303-713-825. I love them. That's somebody who can't sing but was famous as a singer. I just love them. Anyway, Renew Home Innovations, the Kohler guys, I call them, Renew Home Innovations. When I tell you they are wonderful, if you want the most spectacular bathroom in the world, but even more so the shower, they are so specialized, they can do the showers. Now, that's what they love, but they can do the bathroom as well. And they do the showers that are awe-inspiring. I know you may think, what? And then they do good, better, and best. So it doesn't have to be like the best of the best. But if you're going to keep the home, you're going to love these. Now, they're choreographed showers for your movements. Or you might want a walk-in tub because you are suffering from disabilities. But please remember the company RenewHomeInnovations.com on my referral list, or referrallist.com. So let's talk. And Jose, I don't understand this. I have this summons here that you were served. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Were you served in person?
No, sir. This came in the mail. The first one I received was back in June.
And it says, Jose so-and-so, it says, this matter, having been brought before the court on its own motion, the aforementioned cause has been adjudicated. The court finds the defendant responsible for the issuance of the fines and fees due to the defendant's actions or inactions. The defendant shall pay a fee of $210. Okay. But it's not you.
Correct. Yes,
how do you know? Is it your name? Is it your name?
It is my name. It is my name. And on one of the pages, it is my correct address. But also, they have a secondary address that I'm not associated with.
But how did they get? Did you contact the courts and simply say, this is not me?
No, not yet. And I was planning on doing that, but I didn't know if I would open up a can of worms by doing that, because I was going to request, at least a date of birth confirmation.
Well, you know what? The court's not going to cheat you if it's not you. I would have no qualms talking to the court.
Okay.
Or the clerk. Good. If you call the clerk and say there's some kind of mistake, first of all, I want to ask, have you ever been there?
Never to Santa Fe, no.
Have you ever lived...
Going to Albuquerque, but that was back in the 1980s.
Okay, so basically, it's a total mistake.
I'm sure it is. But I noticed on one of the pages... Is
this a result of a court? Was this a default judgment, or were you in court, did they say? Do you know?
Let's see. It doesn't say...
But it does say responsible. It says due to the defendant's actions or inactions. I don't know what that means, but...
I don't either. Yeah, no, on one of the pages, it has party signatures. It says mailed with order for payment.
What kind of what?
It states mailed where
you failed to make a payment, it says, of $50. What does that mean?
I don't know, because I haven't...
Oh, it said no, it did say you appeared here in New Mexico and agreed to pay this, and you never did. So they're saying, so it is a real mistake. I mean, they're saying you were there already.
Correct, yeah, but it wasn't me.
Then just call him, man.
On the pages, I noticed that the year on the magistrate court, it looks like a bad copy. It has 10-6 of 93.
For what?
I'm not sure. It just has that printed on the page.
Can I say something? Don't waste your time with gotchas, like they don't have my date of birth right, or they don't have this right or that right. It's simply not you. So I would say, I noticed that this says I appeared on July 17th, 2019, and I agreed to pay money. Now you're coming after me for that money. I am not that person. What do I do to straighten this out? Now, they're going to automatically think you're trying to get out of it. I mean, everyone does. Right. But this July 17th, where were you on the day of July 17th, 2019?
July 17th? Well, I was here in Denver.
How do you know? How can you prove it?
I have my employer. I have my...
That's pretty solid. What do you do for a living?
I work for a hospital here in in Denver.
Good. Can you get a statement from them that you were at work that day?
Yeah, I can print out my my timesheet because it's all online.
You know, the other thing is, good. If he's convinced and there's no way it's him,
ignore it.
Why do anything?
Well, You know what? You have a point, except there will be a warrant issued for him in New Mexico,
Correct,
and
and that's what I'm concerned about.
And then if he's ever traveling, it could be a hassle. But you're right. In a way, you could ignore it. But I think I just would want to. I wouldn't want to spend a day in jail if I happen to be traveling through there.
Correct.
Do the courts take Social Security numbers? I don't think they do they?
I don't know, actually.
No. And you know the second address that's on there? I Googled it. It looks like it's a halfway house in East Denver.
How long were you there? I thought I could trip him.
Wait a minute. So, listen, would you call them and call us back and see what they say? I would say, this is how I would put it. I would say, I would go on that date. It says here that I appeared before the court. Okay? That's all. Because it says you appeared before this court on a it doesn't say, it says, no, it doesn't say it was that date you appeared. It says you appeared and you failed to make a payment on July 17th as required by the agreement. So I don't know when they say you appeared, but so I would just call and say, look, I want to straighten this out. Any good clerk will help you straighten it out. Just tell him the truth. I got this notice and blah, blah, blah. Please don't get involved in minutia. Like, I don't know this address, and they got my birthday wrong. Just say this is not me. And would you please call us back? I really want to know. Then we'll help you if you get the runaround.
Let's start off with the good news on the south end of town.
So one of the things when you do this, I gotta call Don back. When you do that, he pushes everybody in, saves it with really looking for people. This guy probably lost his job. This Don.
Well, I hope not.
Who's that?
This Don. I mean, they go after poor people, I think.
Wait,
and then,
yeah, you know.
And then they lose their job because that's their
I am so pissed
transportation.
at it, guys. It really bothers me. And they came on here trying to really justify it.
No, that guy's the biggest hypocrite.
Oh my!
Where did he work? What station was he on?
Channel 7. He was and he did a good job as an investigative reporter.
Well, now you see that he was just a
Well, he's
hypocrite
a
over
whore.
there. You just go back to every story that he did, and probably there's something wrong with it.
Or answer some morning emails. Either way, you're helping decrease traffic and
Budget A1 Transmission and Auto Repair has the best deal. I mean, how do you beat it? They'll give you a free estimate on your transmission. You may say, well, what's big about that? Because they take it out and open it up and look at it. I mean, they open it up so there is no doubt what you need to get it fixed. 100% guaranteed. And there's no charge for that. No charge. And they even agree to beat any other estimate or deal. You got to call them. It's that simple. 303-781-9858. All the techs are salaried. No incentive to ever sell you more than you need. 303-781-9858. Budget A1. Yeah, I found that age in and of itself, when you finally realize, wait a minute, you're old. You're getting old. It's not a rumor. It's really happening. It does really have a sobering effect. And I think it's how people deal with that. I think people's entire existence is based on, in the beginning, it's based on nothing. It's just based on fun. But I think as you go on, your entire existence is the deal that you make to cope with mortality.
Well, it's the only thing that's certain.
Whether it's religion, whether it's philosophy,
there's
whether it's
nothing else
denial,
is certain.
Your entire existence at a certain point is to deal with that fact.
It is weird because you know at a very young age too, everybody dies, but you never come to grips with it.
But we make deals we're with ourselves, like, okay, there's this God thing now, there's this heaven, or there's this, or there's that, or there's nothing, or but everyone deals with that. Everyone deals with that in a different way. And the thing is I think people who get depressed, it's their minutia. They get wrapped up in minutia, and it gives them a detour.
You know what's weird is a lot of comedians. Made me think of Robin Williams. A lot of these guys that make people laugh, they're super depressed. I wonder why. It seems like a very strange.
Many famous comedians.
High lows.
I mean, Jonathan Winter, he struggled with depression. Oh, yeah, and Richard Pryor. And
Richard Pryor.
Huge.
So many of these
abuse
people
with
just...
depression.
Oh, who's the other one? Not Richard Pryor.
But you know why they become so funny? It's my belief, because they start realizing the absurdity of it all, and they put themselves out there in a way that they don't give a shit. And they become so famous because of it, because they're not inhibited. I mean, they just forget about themselves because they don't care. It's really the most reckless people become the most successful because they're not. I mean, or they become dirt poor. Either one.
Chris Farley.
Belushi.
The worst thing, though, that you can do for someone striving for success is give them ultimate success where there's no more striving. Because then, what the hell do you do?
I was quoted in Esquire
when you have everything, what do you do?
1971 talking about the Rocky Mountain Low instead of Rocky Mountain High. And that's when you have all the money in the world, like Jackie Onassis can say, if I could just eat in Paris at Maxine's tonight, and you go to Maxine's, you fly there, and you eat there, and you're still depressed.
Look at Elvis.
That's very depressing.
Look at Elvis.
Yeah, look at him.
Oh, yeah.
You have everything.
Yeah. When
do you
think
really want
I could
everything?
get in, if I just had that, all of us in here, I think, or we can't have anything we want. But if you could and you got it, you were still unhappy.
That's scary.
That's devastating.
Look at John Lennon. So depressed he married Yoko Ono.
Good point.
I think some pharmaceutical company talked them into it so they could sell medicine.
Good. Did you ever hear her sing? Oh my God! It's like a.
But isn't her the
It's like a bird they would kick.
Isn't the son actually a singer and stuff?
Everybody's concerned about reducing the rate of overdoses of patients.
That will do it.
And I'm glad they are.
Laying down.
They report they report that they reduced the suicides in Mesa County by overdose by 14. But they don't count the 3 suicides of people that cost their lives from one doctor. You get 14 people abusing the law, to not overdose. I mean, people are making a trade-off that's crazy, and particularly when you have Suboxone, because it's or buprenorphine, parslagnus, hard to abuse it, should be the first.
And they put they put naloxone. What are they putting with it? And that helps them because you can't get high. Right. I think that's a near perfect drug for people if they use it right. Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. We have with us TMSSolutions.com. If I leave, and we have another hour to go, but if I leave you with any message, it is, there is hope for people suffering from depression who have not had too much success with medication. This is something you need to have a conversation with your doctor about. But I want to know this, and Doctor, one of the, what do we call him, distributors? No, one of the advocates of this therapy, Dr. Bob Sammons, he is with us, and he equips doctors' offices with these machines and the staff to do the treatments. Do you have resistance from doctors? Not where you're in their office. I'm not talking about the doctors that provide this service. But like if I'm under a doctor's care and I go to them and say, hey, doc, I heard about this TMS solutions or this therapy, magnetic pulse therapy for the brain. If they don't, I find when doctors don't know about something, they have a tendency to say, oh, that's nonsense. Do you find that when the patient's listening today on my show, I have a lot of people who listen, and we do have people who are depressed, a very highly intelligent audience, you're going to have a lot of depression, really. Will they be told by their doctor that's nonsense?
Possibly. The other aspect is that doctors are unaware of this. I went back to Harvard after training there 12 years ago, and I was told by the person who was the major researcher in this area that 80% of the psychiatrists, much less other physicians at Harvard, don't know what TMS is. So transcranial magnetic stimulation is is an amazing process. We've been using it for treatment for 11 years, but it's in the area of psychiatry. So an awful lot of physicians who are dealing day by day with medications and other illnesses other than depression just don't know about it.
So are you contacted mostly by patients and asking you to talk to their doctor, or the doctors themselves?
I think probably at this point in time we have patients that have heard of the procedure, and they contact us. A lot of time, when
they contact you, what do you do?
Well, we have a team that puts them through an intake process. We bring them in, we talk to them. First of all, we see whether or not insurance is likely to help them cover it.
Does their doctor have to write a prescription, or can they come to you directly?
Oh, they can come directly.
And then you will screen them.
We screen them.
And then you'll write the prescription. So
Right.
even if their doctor is resistant to it,
oh yes,
you can do it.
Sure.
Now, here's the other thing. It's never going to interfere with anything.
Absolutely not. No, we tell them to stay on all their medicines because, well, as all their medicines, if they were doing high doses of certain, well, we don't treat people who have ongoing seizure disorders, although there's research in that. But unless they're on a high dose of a tranquilizer that would reduce the cell firing when they're stimulated, they stay on all their medicine. And that's the beauty. There is no drug-drug interaction.
So, have you had them come directly to you, and then later on the doctor contacts you and say, this is great?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, all the time.
So, tmssolutions.com. Okay. Danny, what's happening? Danny? Are you there, Danny?
Yes, I am.
What's going on, Danny?
Hey, how you doing? I'm having a little trouble with, I guess, the law enforcement because, they don't want to do anything about it.
Doing what? What are we talking about?
I got family members. We all live together. They're bullying my daughters. They're cutting their hair.
Wait, so you have family members within your own household who are bullying your daughters?
Yes, sir.
Okay, hold on. This is something I need to hear about, okay? Hang on. Also, Larry, he was on last Friday on Car Day, shop damaged his bumper. He has some questions. And Weldon, we will talk to you about student debt, all of that coming up on the Troubleshooter Show, as well as more on TMS Solutions. If you have any questions, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. You can get...
restroom, and if anybody does, it's down on that next floor.
Well, someone got mad at Tom over the weekend. It looks like they cut his hair.
Hey, I thought it was a pretty nice cut, if you ask me. I was looking like a shaggy dog.
I was too, man.
Magically, when they cut my hair, it gets darker. I don't know how that happened. I mean, it's amazing. I have all this dark hair underneath the gray, so when they cut the gray off...
I go there and say, just cut the gray. They say you'll be bald.
If I had gray hair like that, I'd keep it.
Silver
More
fox.
like yours. No, if mine was truly gray, I literally look like a pinto. I have blotches. When you cut it, I mean. Honest to God, when you cut it, I have a spot that's gray and another spot that's gray, and it's like...
Yeah, if it was all the same.
It's not salt and pepper, it's Dalmatian.
Or beagle.
Like an Appaloosa.
Oh, we'll get you more water.
Gal is going to be asking about transcranial magnetic stimulation.
That's it. That's what he does.
Okay, I didn't realize that. I missed that
That's
at the
what
beginning of the show.
TMS is here.
So, yeah, she's thinking about having that done because she's suffering from depression.
Oh, good.
So that call will be for you when you come up.
Mark says there's no way you can make his arm move. What?
Yeah, right.
You didn't say that?
I did say that.
So it was a challenge to you, Doc.
Yeah, challenge to make...
Can you make someone punch themselves? That'd be pretty
Quit
cool.
hitting yourself. Quit hitting yourself. Remember that Pete Dedican and you hold them down and you take their hand? Quit hitting yourself.
Say uncle! Say uncle!
Quit hitting yourself. Did you used to do that?
Of course. I can't.
What happened?
when I first went to Harvard back in 2006 to get trained on this, it was, I come home and you're talking about the barber being think of it. Went to see this guy was barber. He was in every pyramid marketing scheme you could think of.
Everything from Tupperware
to hair products, magnets, and so I come back and he's asking about the trip, and I told him and he taps me on the arm and says, "Damn, Doc, you and I both treat depression with magnets." And I'm going, "Jesus." Don't tell me that. So, people who wear these magnets, if they're affecting meridians or what have you, where this is the fascinating thing is to be able to fire the cells. Now, that's what antidepressants do. Antidepressants put more neurotransmitters between one cell and another. They do that. They don't put more. They block the reuptake for about 21 thousandths of a second. So you have a regular brain cell, it releases serotonin. They have a reuptake pump that sucks over leftover neurotransmitters. So the brain's kind of a recycling center. What Prozac does, for example, and Paxil and all the SSRIs, is they block that sucking action by 21 thousandths of a second, allowing what's naturally occurring in the brain to be there a fraction of a second more. And in doing so, you get an increased summation. Let's say it takes 100 serotonin molecules to fire the next cell. And if you're depressed, you're only putting out maybe 60% or what. By allowing that to be in the synaptic cleft for a fraction of a second more, you get up to 100 fires a cell. But the reason it looks like it works is not because of increased neurotransmitters, because you do that within about 36 hours. But you don't get better for 4 weeks. The newest research says that when we're firing brain cells and medicines are doing it, takes 4 weeks to increase what we call neurogenesis. It's the development of more cells that are occurring in the hippocampus and the limbic system. And when you get cellular regeneration, and you have that plasticity we were talking about with rehab, where if I turn that light off, it basically goes off like that. And when you fire a nerve like with your head, you go boom, it just twitches once. But like with rehab, with the neuroplasticity, it makes it easier to do. And when you're looking at rehab, because you ask what's coming up in the future, I think this with rehab, possibly with aphasia, post-stroke behavior, I think we're going to see some incredible things.
Quickly. Instead of a 6-month rehab, it could be a month.
Yeah, or never. Absolutely.
On stroke stuff?
Oh, it's just fascinating.
Strokes are so scary.
They didn't know for a long time why, what are they, SRIs, SSRIs, whatever. They didn't even really know why they worked, right?
It's an uptake inhibitor, right? So in other words, it'll let you keep most of your serotonin?
Yeah, but they still don't know why they actually work.
Well, except what I just told you, it looks like, so what they do, the medicines don't put more neurotransmitters there. It blocks the reuptake.
That's right.
So it allows what's naturally there.
So
but it takes 4 weeks to work.
But that happens in 36 hours, he was saying.
So
how come you don't feel the effects for 4 weeks?
Better. And the answer is, it doesn't look like it's the neurotransmitters. It's that firing of the cells. And it's the firing of the cells that gives you, that develop neurogenesis.
Okay, I got another one. What if someone is on no medication, but they are just depressed now and then? Would this help them?
Great question. We don't know.
Like if they were sad because they lost their spouse?
No. Well, just like as you're getting older, I'm thinking if I
just normal depression.
I'm not saying I'd be a candidate, but can a person who just, or do they have to have clinical depression with medication?
Great question. Nobody spent the money to do the research to have a clinical finding. However,
any anecdotal?
But SEAL Team 6 is using it. to increase enhancement.
That's what I thought. I like what's called biohacking, meaning trying stuff, not stuff that can harm you, but trying stuff that could possibly help you. I'm all into that, you know that. I mean, that's why I do my hormone therapy. I just, bring it on, just, it can't harm you. Let's do some.
He almost started taking ozone.
No. He's talking about some treatment. That's a biohack, because it's not clinically shown, but where they infuse your blood with ozone. The science behind it.
Thank God he thought again about that one.
No. I don't just try anything. It has to be like.
He's going to have Dan do it first.
But it's called prohibitive, right? I can't get my insurance to pay just because I say I want it.
Now, yeah, but with Medicare.
I'm on Medicare.
Medicare is the one that got other insurance companies to buy it, because other insurance companies.
But it has to be med resistant. If I'm not on any medication, if I come to you.
Medicare got down to one medicine. If you failed one medicine.
Yeah, but I don't. What if somebody doesn't want to go on medication? They would love to try this.
They can pay for it themselves.
How much is it? It's a lot, right? How much is it?
It's hard to get a waiver. It's hard to get a waiver.
How much is it?
It depends. I
on
called
self-pay.
last night. We do sliding fee scales. Most insurance.
What's like a normal? If I went through the course, I'm saying, I just out of curiosity.
What copay would be?
No, not copay.
No, what would it cost him
if
he
I
was
wanted
paid?
to try it, and literally, not a special. I'm not talking about discounts. I'm just If somebody who was wealthy said, "Hey, you know what the hell? This sounds like great therapy for my brain anyway."
And they're not on meds.
Right.
And they're not on meds.
How much would it be?
Or you wouldn't even do it.
Don, with the Denver nuisance law, he called Corey Nelson on his way into the meeting, and he did not go to the meeting, and he wants to tell you what was said on the phone.
Good.
He's on line 6.
Hey, real quick, if someone is on
Anyway,
antidepressants
tell us
for
how much.
10, 15 years, and then you pull them off, that can't be good either, right?
If they've been on 15 years,
for 20, 25. I mean, since
they
they've
have
been
a
out.
93% chance the depression's coming back.
If they're pulled off of them.
Because they have a medical depression. If you get depressed once, you have a 50% chance it won't come back. That means 50% chance it will. That's epidemic. Treated twice, 73% chance.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. I'm your troubleshooter, your consumer advocate. We fight for you. We fight with you if you're trying to rip people off, yeah. And then we advocate for good people like Genesis Total Exteriors. You know we hear about home improvements all the time, and I love to bring you great companies. Genesis, Mark Shemansky's a great guy, and we hear so many problems with home improvements. By the way, he does inside and out basements and kitchens as well, mostly when the weather starts turning. But just remember the name, Genesis TotalExteriors.com. As I said, he does both in and out. We have a special guest, TMS Solutions, today. We love talking about advances in healthcare. This is basically a magnetic pulse therapy by prescription only. It's for people suffering from depression, and mostly people who are med resistant, meaning they've tried different medications, but they still feel a little, crappy. And this is by prescription. Now, you should work with your doctor. But this doesn't interfere with any treatment, and in fact, if you went directly to TMS Solutions, they would have to, do an intake procedure, and then they would do the prescription. So your doctor may or may not be on board with it. You ought to talk to them if they have any questions. Dr. Salmons, Bob, he talks to doctors all the time about this therapy. It's been around a while, developed in Harvard, was it, or outside at Harvard?
It was originally invented in England. And it was with the National Institute of Health where the clinical application really began, with a guy named Dr. Mark George.
And the Harvard connection is just you, that you work there?
Well, he was the Harvard connection. There were two people, Mark George and Alvaro Pasqualeone, and those were the two major early researchers that took it from neurology. Neurology used it initially doing single pulses, but Mark George said, what happens if you move it over an area we know that is not functioning well, and gave multiple pulses? He's the one that did the research. He is now at the University of South Carolina. So he did his research when he was at National Institute of Health.
Now you are an MD?
Correct.
And a psychiatrist?
Correct.
And anything else?
PhD clinical psychologist.
Wow. Can I ask a simple question? Am I crazy? I would like to know. Okay, let's talk to Sarah. Sarah, welcome. By the way, we talk about everything. We're not a one-topic show. We weave this in and out. So I know all of the people have been waiting. I promise to get to you, Weldon, about the student debt. Don also has a very important update on the Denver nuisance abatement law. He's the one that got stung, I call it, unjustly. And, oh, he was on his way to a meeting, but something changed. He's not going after talking to them. I don't know what's going on. But now let's talk to Sarah. Sarah, welcome to the show.
Hi. Yes, I'm interested in this help for depression, and I was wondering what the stats are, on how many people does it help, how many people does it not help.
Yeah. May I ask a question, Sarah? Are you suffering from depression?
Yes.
How long?
Yes.
How long?
I would say since I was 18, and my father is a psychiatrist, and he also suffers from depression.
Now, were you or are you on medications?
Tried many of them.
Are you on any right now?
No, they always lose their efficacy.
Okay, and how many times have you tried different meds? How many different meds have you tried?
I would say approximately 10.
Wow. Okay, so Dr. Sammons, she wants to know, stats. I mean, do you have stats?
We do, and they come from several sources. A major paper on this, looking at both what we call remission and response. Remission's where a patient gets so much better they no longer have symptoms for the depression. If you've been depressed for 10 years, you have a clinical depression. It's biological. If you go off medicine, the depression's coming back. What they found was with TMS, there is a 37% chance that the person who has a resistant depression gets to a point where they no longer have symptoms. They need to be on the medicine. The response rate, which is reducing your symptoms by 50% or more, is in the neighborhood of 60%. In clinical practice, it's basically 45% remission and about 70% response.
That's good.
That's wonderful. There's still a 20% failure rate. There's nothing we can do about that. But if a person has been on more than 4 medicines, they try the next one, the chance that medicine is going to resolve their symptoms is less than 10%. And that's
so it's better than that. Sarah, you're not currently on medication, right?
Not at all.
So this is the question I had, doctor. If she has a history of depression but on no medication right now, can she get a prescription through TMS and possibly get it covered by her insurance?
Absolutely. She's a classic patient. The insurance companies want people to have been on medicines at a therapeutic level for 6 weeks or more.
But how long ago? What if I had a depression 10 years ago and had medication, but I haven't done anything since?
If you failed, 10 medicines like Sarah has, I think there's no problem getting her treatment.
Okay.
Thank you.
It can't hurt, right, Sarah? Really?
I'm gonna go on Friday. I have an appointment.
With actual TMS?
No, I'm not sure if it's with them or not.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's with them, but is it the actual transcranial magnetic stimulant?
Yeah.
And do you know where you're going?
I believe it's out in Littleton.
That's them.
Well, good luck to you. It is a wonderful treatment. I've spent the I got originally trained in this in 2006. It is a wonderful treatment. We love it when people get better. I think you have a very good chance of at least getting a response and a reduction. But I always tell my patients twice. Not everybody gets better. There is nothing in medicine when everybody gets better. But what we do provide, what anyone providing TMS does, is they give you state-of-the-art treatment. There are no drug-drug interactions. There are no systemic side effects. It's easily tolerated, and it gives you a real fighting chance to get over that severe depression.
So, Sarah, would you please let us know? Can you stay in touch with us?
Absolutely.
Great.
I will. I call your show quite a bit.
Sarah, and also feel free to visit us from time to time if you want. Suzanne, have her come in for lunch one day and meet the gang if she listens a lot. 303-713-TALK. I need to take Weldon. I see this, and it's Weldon wants to talk about student debt. And I didn't forget about Don. Hold on, Don, about the nuisance abatement. Weldon, what's going on? What's going on, Weldon?
Well, yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. I wanted your advice regarding something.
Okay.
Where, my son had student debt.
Okay.
It's gone up over the years because he didn't have money. He put together some money to pay for it. They've added a lot of
What kind of student debt does he have, Weldon? Are we talking about student loans?
Well, he went to Westview, defunct college, which actually turned out to have a what do you call it, a class action suit brought against them.
But does he have conventional student loans by the government, guaranteed?
It was guaranteed. They cajoled him into getting this loan, which I think is guaranteed by the government. So
How much of a loan? How much of a loan does he have?
It's about $5,000. It's not terrible.
Okay, and how long ago did he get? How long ago did he get it?
Oh, 10 years, 12 years.
And how
ago.
much is it?
Well, I think by now it's up around $4,000 with interest.
Okay, now what is your question? What is your question on it?
He wasn't going to handle it, but I told him, whatever you do, don't just simply do it by phone. Get this done by mail, so you have a hard copy.
Well, you have to know that, first of all, the people collecting are authorized to collect, and it's a real collection for this debt. You have a lot of bogus collectors who collect and have no authority to collect, and you end up owing the money anyway. So that's the first thing. But are they hounding him for this?
Well, not hounding. They call back now and then and say, pay us. And he's just now gotten them together enough.
Is it on his credit?
Yes, I think so, yes.
Are they willing to do a lump sum settlement?
They may be. I don't know. He said, I'm going to call them today, because they called him about a month ago, and he said, I want to get this off.
All right, so what is your actual question, Weldon?
My question was, I told them, don't handle this simply by phone. Have them do correspondence stating precisely what's owed, so that you're going to know who you're dealing with.
That's right.
You're going to have it in writing.
Right.
And I said, you've got to have it in writing. If you don't have any.
He should probably contact the original creditor or lender as well. Make sure these guys are authorized to collect for it.
As I understand it, you went through the schlock school, right?
Yeah. He was trying to. It turned out that it was just a high pressure thing.
Yeah. What was he supposed to be learning?
Of all things, computer programming for programming in general. And I told him at the time, he didn't know. I said, you're not prepared to take a programming class.
So I need to know specifically what we can help you with. Okay, right after this, please, just a specific question or something. You're right, everything should be done in writing. But you also have to go the extra step of verification, even if they do write to you.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com.
Sorry.
Traveling into Boulder.
Overtime.
Why did you say SEAL Team 6 is using it for?
Acuity, right?
Enhancement. For what?
Acuity.
Cognitive
Enhancement.
Cognitive.
That's what I want.
We've tried to get the protocol for that.
You didn't tell me how much it would cost me if I wanted to just go in. I'm not asking for. I don't mean like a special deal. I mean like if someone comes off the street and they say, hey man, I want to do this.
For 30 treatments, it runs. And again,
I know.
What the deal
I
is.
understand.
About $7,000
for the whole thing.
30.
That's cheaper than I thought.
I want to do it. I mean, I want to do it. I want to try it. I mean, I think it would be cool.
Be interesting. Someone non-clinical.
Better than the ozone.
Hello.
The question I was asking.
Okay, I'm coming to get. Hold on 1 second, please. QC Colorado. That's what I use for my whole house fan. You should too. QCcolorado.com. First of all, I'm just a believer in whole house fan technology, period. It works. So then you have to ask, what kind do you get? I like QC. It stands for quiet, cool, and it truly is quiet and it's cool. Here's what it does. It pulls the air through your home to destratify it. That alone makes your air conditioner work more efficiently. And then it pushes out the really hot air in your attic. But it does it quietly because it's remotely mounted in the attic behind your insulation. And then a small flexible duct goes to an attractive register in the ceiling of your upper floor. You know, it takes less than an hour to install. And then for the wall unit, you know, for the control, you don't have to dig into anything. It's a small remote, and it's powered by like a hearing aid battery. It's wonderful. 720-398-4510. 720-398-4510, QCColorado.com.
If someone's on Prozac for a long time, 20 plus years, whatever it happens to be, I don't even know how old this stuff is, but a long time. If you simply pull them off, I'm not saying are they going to be worse off than when they started it? In other words, is it so drastic in their head that they're going to be way worse than when prior to ever going on Prozac? Does that make sense?
How would you know? I think the answer, how would you know? The answer is basically no. There is no withdrawal.
Okay.
And it doesn't throw you into a depression. The problem is that the depression may come back.
Yeah.
What we think is the opposite. There's some folks out of the National Institute of Mental Health think that you get kindling. You certainly get that with bipolar disorder, and the more episodes you have, the shorter the interval between episodes, and the worse the depression will be, the kindling. So if you have no medicine, and you're not happy, and describe it like you got an antidepressant level, you can have, the moods continue to switch. But if you're not depressed, we think that's been therapeutic. Sometimes the depression, for whatever reason, gets bad enough you get breakthrough depression. You're doing well, nothing's changed, no real trauma in your life, and all of a sudden you get depressed. That's the biological aspect.
Is it related to anxiety?
Oh God, 60% of the time we call it comorbid. Matter of fact, when we treat for free, we always do left-sided, which is excitatory, trying to get it going, but we do left-sided, 1 hertz, for about 12,000 pulses for anxiety, because this is inhibitory. We can't charge for this.
Okay, so I could do both for those sessions.
Absolutely.
Now, how long
With you, I would think about left-sided and then...
How long does it, whatever you think, how long will it take per session? I'm really going to do this. How long will it?
Less than 45 minutes.
And how many days do I have to come in?
30. So
30
times. 6 weeks.
Okay, 30 days.
Oh, that's
30 treatments.
30 treatments. And I have to really do them. Okay, so we lay it all out in advance.
You have a time. So if you're the 8 o'clock or you're the 5 o'clock, you come in. We have the measurements. You sit there. It takes a while to what we do the mapping.
I go right in that one where I was, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's
now, what about metal? What about metal, like on the body?
If it's ferromagnetic, in other words, if it's iron or have iron.
I've had MRIs, so I don't know.
No, it's not a problem. What metal do you have in your head?
Nothing.
Do you have any bullets or
nothing?
Iron.
Nothing. No flakes. Because I've done MRIs.
He's got that one plate.
I've done
MRIs. Treated people who have.
Yeah, that would be weird. What do you do then? You just move it?
Yeah, well, if they have titanium plates, the area we were looking for was not covered. If it covers it, I don't think there's any way to do it. But then we would do right-sided. We find that the right side not only helps anxiety, also helps depression.
I love it.
We don't use it as much because we have more research on the left side. But right side, so if they have a plate on the left side, we can do right.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Now, did he leave? The guy with the student debt? He didn't ask me. Oh, maybe that was what he wanted to know. Was he right in getting it in writing? And then how do you verify? And we went through that. Now,
he's got to lowball him too, man. He's got to call up there and say, hey, we'll give you $3,000, you make
But
this
remember, Mark,
right now.
if this is truly a student loan, here's the problem. The student loan is
Never goes
legit.
away.
But where you spend it can be illegit. It's terrible. You might got a really good student loan, but went to a bullcrap school. You end up owing for nothing. You know, it's different when you get a real degree or something you can use. And even then, there's a cost that you have to consider. I mean, you know, if your child wants to go get a PhD in ancient anthropology or whatever, or art of the of the middle
esophagus or
whatever. I mean, you get some. It's obscure degrees that I can't come up with. They're so obscure. But what are you going to do with it? You're going to be an expensive waiter. 303-713-TALK. Now, Don, it all started when he called us and said, I took my car to a mechanic. Denver police arrested him for not having a license. Apparently, his license had been suspended. And I think the guy had a criminal record. They didn't like the guy, whatever it is. But because Don's car was there, and he had driven it around the block, around the house to get to to work on it, and Don was going to pay him to work on it, they impounded his car. They said, you can't have your car back unless you pay the fees, like $1,500. Don said, I did nothing wrong. Why should my car be impounded? They said, it's Denver nuisance abatement law. And if you guys aren't familiar with this, the only reason you're not upset is because it hasn't happened to you or someone you know. Because these laws are unjust, just flat out unjust. Sure, it's okay when the criminal owns the property and was using it to transport drugs or a getaway car. But when you have a guy who has a suspended license and he happens to be behind the wheel of your car and they take your car until you pay ransom, it's wrong. We've had several cases where people have wrongly had their cars impounded and never get them back. So here's the deal. This happened to Don, and here's the real deal. This is what's really crazy. The underlying case that spurred all this, the suspended license and driving, blah, 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 his car, was dismissed. We don't even have a conviction. But Denver says, as long as it's a conviction or not, we don't care, because the abatement law is totally separate. It's a civil case. And while they say it's totally separate, that's not completely accurate, because they don't invoke it unless there's a criminal procedure. And get this, they invoke the abatement law, the nuisance abatement law, when there is a criminal proceeding, not a crime, a proceeding. And when that proceeding is dismissed, discharged, or it goes away, they then say, well, the civil case is in and of itself. But wait, you wouldn't have had the civil case if it wasn't for the criminal case. And they say, yeah, but it doesn't matter. Once we have it, it takes on a life of its own. How can that be possibly just? Now, they go one step further. If we decide that the person owning the property is innocent, they get their property back with no penalties. Now, get this. The criminal case is adjudicated by a judge. And they say guilty, not guilty, dismissed, whatever. The civil case, when they say if we find the person innocent, we give their property back, does not go to court. It's up to them to decide if you're innocent. There is no civil mechanism. There's no hearing. So what that person told us in charge is that the city of Denver, completely, without any court, without any judge, without any legal process, takes your car or your house or your boat or your plane or anything you own, your motorcycle, and they keep it, and they only give it back if they decide on their own discretion that you're innocent. So who questions them? If they say you're not innocent, how do you fight it? You don't. It is worse than Moscow at its worst. I swear to God, Mark, who rages against injustice, would not rage against this, because he said, no, Tom, that can't be true. He, honest to God, didn't believe it. He says it is so far-fetched, it can't be true. Right, Mark? You were saying, man. Come on, Tom, come on.
Well, I talked to him, and he basically...
Didn't you think I was exaggerating?
I did.
I've had people at dinners and stuff where I go out and meet people who say, hey, Tom, that can't really be true. So anyway, Don was supposed to go have a meeting with them, and I told Don when he gets there, he should say, listen, the director of this program was on the Tom Martino show and said point blank that there are provisions for innocent owners. And of course, mind you, they have to find you innocent. There is no court. So what happened, Don?
Okay, I was on my way down there. I called him and let him know I was on my way down there. the guy named the DA for the
Corey Nelson. Corey Nelson.
Corey Nelson.
He's one of the attorneys, one of the two that handles these cases. What did he say?
Right.
What did he say?
He told me, it's pointless because your court, the silver thing has been entered a judgment, and you abandoned the car. I said, what you mean?
You abandoned the car. Now they're saying you abandoned it. What does that mean? It's over.
I asked, I said, what you mean? I didn't abandon my car. We got an appointment right now at 1 o'clock, and I'm calling you to let you know I'm on my way down there where your time expires. I said, why would you give me a date saying that for us to meet to handle the situation? And then he was like, well, I'm not your attorney. I can't give you no finances.
When did they decide when did they decide you abandoned your car?
He didn't tell me that. I said, so what I do now? He said, I can't. I said, you've been giving me advice. I said, you've been telling me to come down here by my car and stuff like that. And I said, man, y'all need to be exposed. Then he gonna tell me, well, yeah, that's the case.
We won't be exposed except for us because you won't find any local media picking up on this. This is a travesty. This guy Don, who did nothing wrong, had his car taken, and then because he did not pay the $1,500 ransom, now they're telling him right now. They are telling him that he abandoned his car. Oh, my God. People, please just tell one other person about this. Please, I swear to God, I am not here lying to you. The city of Denver is immoral, unjust. They are wrong what they're doing to people. Mind you, the underlying case went away. What right do they have to keep your car? Call that woman who was on our show. What's her name, Suzanne? What's the director's name? In fact, people, please call the city of Denver. Please. You know how? I can only highlight the injustice. There's nothing else I can do about it except highlight the injustice. People have to do something about it. What is the name of the woman? By the way, the city is 720-913-9000. It's the city of Denver, and it's Marley Bordofsky. Marley is in charge of this. It's Bordofsky.
Bordofsky. She corrected me, Tom.
Bordofsky. Spell it any way you want. It's pronounced Bordofsky. Bordofsky. Marley, this guy has just lost his property. Listen, people, until it happens to you, and would you get off your ass at Channel 9 and Channel 7 and Channel 4? Take credit for it, like you guys usually do. You usually hear things on this show and take credit for it. I won't argue. I won't say a word. Go ahead, Brian Moss. You're used to that. You say, oh, I've investigated this for 6 months. Just do it. Do it. Take credit for this. I will give any TV reporter all of my information. When I used to be on TV, I ran after these stories and I seized them. These lazy-ass people won't do it. But so please, call the city. Don, we're not done, man. We are not done. This blows me away. It just blows me away that people are seeing the government steal property, lie and cheat, and do nothing about it. In fact, I want to call Mayor Hancock's office. For God's sakes, he's the mayor. He should address this. He should address it. What?
Why would he threaten me, man? Talking about, well, let's put your criminal record out.
Don, your criminal record, if you had one, has nothing to do with this. By the way, do you have a criminal record?
20 years ago.
Okay.
20 years ago.
So Corey Nelson said, hey, if you make too much hay about this, then your criminal record's going to be exposed. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
What happened? Let's just get it out there. What happened 20 years ago?
I got convicted of an auto theft.
Okay. Now, does that have anything to do with this case ever? Were you arrested or charged with anything?
No, I wasn't.
No.
I wasn't even around.
The guy that had your car, that was going to fix your car, what was he doing to your car?
A tune-up.
A tune-up. And the police came and said what? That we're taking your car because this guy has a suspended license.
Right. Then catch him driving it. Nothing. None of that. And the case went away. But I got it. But now they took my car.
And they won't give your car back because now Corey Nelson at 720-913-9000, the city of Denver has proclaimed that you abandoned your vehicle. That's why they say it's not a forfeiture, because they take your car, and when you don't pay the money, guess what happens? They say that you abandon it. John, make this comment quick, please. Make it quick. My board op is really pissed at me. Go ahead.
Channel 4, 7, and 9 get off their ass, you said? They're too busy bashing Trump to do any local stories.
Well, you won't find any local stories. You're going to find features that, I call them mommy and daddy features. Well, we got more coming right up.
This is Denver.
You know what? The city of Denver took Jim Weiss's 44th Autos, how they do it. They keep the car, then they say he's abandoned.
Yeah. They learn from the best.
They learn from Jim
this is wrong, and it really bothers me.
I gotta get with, so you want them before?
I think you're doing the right thing. Let's blow up their phones.
Yep. Well, okay, so I'll have them come in. You want them at 1 or what time tomorrow?
Anytime.
Well, either before or after the show.
Well, no, I want him in during the show.
No. He can be, I'm saying for the video, though. We can't do it during the show.
So
toward the end of the show.
On the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get some video of them in here too.
Okay, good idea.
No, it's crazy. You get what they did. They literally took this guy's car.
They take his car and then say you've abandoned.
But they've done it over and over and over and over.
You could understand if it was used like
you got your show. I love it.
In a bankruptcy
It's
not even him who was accused of the crime.
Sure. That's the part that's mind blowing. And the city came on and said there is a defense if you're innocent of everything. You had no idea.
Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center. It's the place where I got my help. You can get yours for hearing loss or tinnitus or both. Dr. Patty and Dr. Lisa, they really do a great job. They're at the forefront of pioneering the new technologies. They have something called Dysynchra, which is really a method. It's non-invasive that introduces sounds to your ears. Okay, it's a therapy, and then it trains your brain to ignore the tinnitus, if you can believe that. It's a permanent solution for some. They have other treatments, masking devices, that eventually help you ignore tinnitus. This is all new. They have hearing devices. Here's what I love about Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center. This is what I love. They absolutely, positively let you try out everything before you buy. 303-534-0163, 534-0163, helpforringing.com.
Tell me you got that treatment?
Yeah. I got the hearing aid, not the...
you did the Dysynchra for a little bit.
Yeah, but I didn't finish it because I had to find 3 hours a day I could wear that. And even though you can be doing things, I didn't finish it. So I have to finish it. I bought it. I paid for it. I have it. I got to get it. I got to get it started up again.
Do the other help?
Yeah, the hearing aids help so much I don't even wear them hardly because they masked it to such a degree. When I take them off, I'm getting it now to be more permanent.
I flew to Portland, Oregon, with a guy who said that TMS helped tinnitus.
No, you know what? I mean, who knows? I was wondering about that because whenever you unclog the brain, good things happen. I mean, it's just no other way of putting it. You have more if you have more efficient firing off of nerve cells.
I've not heard anyone talk about something helping them like that. I'll look into that.
But no, they're really good with tinnitus. They really are. If you have any tinnitus, it's a terrible thing that this tinnitus.
The only time I hear my tinnitus is when I'm talking to my
Well, I'm coming at 11:30, but he said he'd like lunch.
Who?
I'll buy lunch.
Might have to buy him a car.
He says I would pick up lunch, but I don't got
Ed, where'd you find those stats?
That's great. Seriously.
Can you believe he said that though about the
the criminal rep?
The criminal rep?
You know, look at there's 2 lawyers that do the nuisance law.
$2.4 million they've made in the nuisance laws.
Yeah,
this year?
2016 on.
No, just 2016.
Wait. I thought it said
and that's
since.
just cars.
Oh, in 2016.
And it's just cars because they can track cars because of the titling.
They're so immoral.
This is...
And you know that son of a bitch, PIO? He was on trying to justify it.
Yes, he is a son of a bitch.
How do you... You know, I don't care what
him
you
up, though.
I don't care what you
You set him up.
I know. It was a hit job.
We have to call.
How dare you speak the truth?
We're not going to go away. We need a spokesperson from the mayor's office. We can work on that later. Daphne, are you listening? We need to get someone from the mayor's office. I won't let it. Huh?
She's not listening.
Is she gone?
She's on the train.
Huh?
She's
on
gone
that train trip.
She's gone till Thursday.
She didn't leave, did she?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. She's gone. That's right.
We should have let her.
She's on
talking.
She's on the last train to Clarksville.
So I guess I'm not getting my coffee.
Get him some coffee quick.
That was why I was wondering why my cup remained empty on her bed. I put it over there.
Wednesday would have come, and he's still going. Daphne, where's that coffee from Monday?
On the last train to Clarksville, and they'll meet you at the station.
Hey guys, y'all got a good Mexican restaurant around here?
Hacienda.
Which direction?
Any.
Hacienda's the best, but there's two locations.
Brewery Bar right there by the malls. Brewery
Mexican,
Bar 3.
Mexican.
Brewery Bar 3. It's one of the best. Brewery Bar.
Okay, well, I don't know.
Oh, it's delicious Mexican.
I mean, we're
food.
talking like Hacienda's.
Hacienda's hard to beat.
Hacienda's in the Tech Center down south on Lincoln, or you go to Colorado Boulevard, just Colorado and I-25, just north of Colorado.
It's
if you come off of
Mexican.
I-25 in Colorado, go north for a couple blocks on your right. It's your first shopping center on your right as you go north past the interstate.
Oh, even better, right over here, Taco Bell.
I always, when I see my patients there, talk about gourmet.
I know you have one in Grand Junction, though, that I go to. What the hell's the name? You'll probably know it. It's just
Guadalajara or Dos Hombres.
If you've never been to Hacienda, you'll love Hacienda.
Now, Hacienda is not a hole-in-the-wall type of family restaurant.
No.
It's a good menu and a chef, and it's
when
not
I'm going up I-25
to Colorado.
Do I go
north,
right or left?
You go right.
I go right, like I'm going to the university.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, and
good.
then, but it's your first shopping center on your right.
Okay.
It's where Best Buy is.
I know where that is. Right, thank you.
It's right there.
Yeah, he's on University.
I believe that's
Mexico.
Mexico.
That's what we just said.
I believe
You said Colorado.
I didn't say Colorado.
You said...
You're gonna pass DU's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not what you were talking about, DU?
No, I was talking about Hacienda at...
No, you said university, though. What
I'm sorry, the medical school down on Colorado.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's way up north, right?
Yeah, way north. Or towards Cherry Creek.
Right. That's right. You're going to go toward Cherry Creek.
Right.
But you're going to take your very first right.
Right.
I got it better than that.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter.
Shooter 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Listen, I'm sorry for getting so upset and getting off on a tangent about this. Just the Denver nuisance abatement law. It's the only place you're going to hear about it. I hope a TV station picks up on it. They can have all our material. Hey, Larry, I'm sorry for the wait. Let's go ahead. Tell your story, sir. I'll give you 30 seconds to sum it up.
Oh, no worries. So we bought the car and transmission went out. We went there to have it serviced. Went to pick it up and there's damage. And now they're telling us they want to fix it themselves in-house.
Oh, I remember this call. So there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with them fixing it, but they can't force you to do that.
Sure. I know what my options were. And then also the fact that it's going to be like a 2 or 3 day thing. I'm going to have to cover the cost of a rental. And
should they be covering the rental, Tom?
Now, here's the thing. You know, that is reasonable. If they damage your car and you're going to lose use of it, the truth is they owe you whatever you're going to lose within reason. Not extraordinary damages like you were going to use the car to make $1 million deal and now the $1 million is out the window. But if you simply want the use of a vehicle for a few days, yeah, they should technically do that. Here's what becomes a pain in the ass. What will they do without a fight? What can you negotiate? If I could just get them to write a check to get it fixed, I'd be done with it. And just make sure it's a fair price. Now, if they wanted to fix it themselves and they're truly going to do it right, But there's nothing wrong with giving him a shot at it.
Sure, we're willing to do that.
Now, how much damage are we talking about?
The paint's chipped off and it's cracked from the impact. They backed into someone's tire and wheels, so it kind of...
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. At least you have them on record accepting responsibility. That's the important part.
Sure.
So, now, did they say they would pay for a rental for a few days?
No, they don't want to. They wanted to. We left there, and there was a balance of $200 that I told her I didn't want to pay until we sort out the bumper. And she said she wanted to just call it even with the $200, but I know the damage is going to be more than $200 plus the rental car.
Now, how hell-bent are you, just between you and me, on the rental car?
I mean, it's something I need because I have 5 kids that need ride to school. We live up in Gilpin County.
Well,
so
what did you do? What did you do when it was in the shop?
My wife was driving my '83 Tercel wagon, which is in another shop now, so we don't have a spare car at the moment.
Okay, Larry, they owe it to you, man. I mean, how much were you asking for a rental?
Just whatever it costs, and I think you can get one for like $50 a day. So
I think if you go a week, you can do like $150 for the whole week.
Sure. We're not, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy, just something that's, to get.
What's the name of the shop?
It's Amco Transmission and Total Car Care in Evergreen.
I can't believe they're screwing around like this. I can't believe it. Did you talk to the manager? Did you talk to the manager?
Not yet. I was speaking with the secretary, and I actually spoke with her this morning, and she's supposed to get me in touch with him. So I'm going to chat with him and see what I can work out.
Amco Transmission, what I would do is come up with a price. I would come up with a price for repair and for rental and be done with it. I'd say, look, guys, and listen, if it's going to take 5 days or 10 days to get it fixed, that's not their fault either. I think you have to be reasonable, even though technically they're the ones that caused the problem. I would come up with an amount, get a check, and be done with it. That's what I would not let them fix it, although they're going to want to fix it in a hurry if they're renting it. But you want them to do it the right way.
Right, that's why we're kind of skeptical about it.
Okay, I would get a reasonable car rental for 1 week, 5 days, and see what it costs. Then I would add to that the repair of a bumper. There are places that specialize in bumpers. Is it just the bumper, or is any quarter panel involved?
No, it's just the bumper, but there's backup sensors there, and one of them got damaged.
Well, man, they're going to have more than they bargained for. Or you can just take your car, get it fixed, get a rental, and go after them in small claims court. I don't see how you lose. But tell them that first, and maybe they'll just write you a check. But get your prices before you bother negotiating, okay?
You got it. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Call us back and let us know how it goes. We'll help you each step of the way. Ken, welcome, Ken. What's going on?
Tom, I'm calling to see, is the municipality allowed to...
hold on, Ken. Hold on. I thought I took a break. We got to take a quick one right now.
This report is sponsored by LifeLock with Norton. Traveling into Boulder, get...
Mayor's on Mandy Connell's show every month.
Yeah, well, I want them on mine.
We should do that, a Facebook Live when the mayor's in there.
Yeah, walk in. No, I don't want to do that to her, though.
It wouldn't be, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean to her, because then they might say, we're never coming on your show.
Oh.
Yeah. And then we'll say, that's good.
I wonder if he just calls in. I bet he just calls in. He doesn't come down here.
Sometimes they do.
Well, Rosen used to have in studio the mayor all the time, or the governor all the time, once a month. Hickenlooper? Or no, before Hickenlooper.
No. Hick wouldn't do it.
Who was the guy before Hickenlooper?
What's his name?
I've met him at Dell's like 5 fucking times.
Republican.
Yeah, what was his name?
Right before.
I can picture him.
Webb.
It was
no. I can't think of his name.
No, you're right. I can't. I'm ashamed. It's not Mr. Hare, and it wasn't the DA. Hold on.
Mr. Hare.
John Fuller, Fuller Law, that is who you call when you've had an injury in an accident or by some other event and you think it's someone else's fault. It might be, maybe not. Is it worth going after? John Fuller is the one I trust to tell me the truth. look, he's not going to exaggerate. He's not going to like pad it. He's going to say, you know what? I think we can be successful here, and I think you can take that to the bank. John Fuller, he is a really good guy, and he knows his stuff with personal injury. 303-597-4500, free advice. 303-597-4500. The website, personalinjuryco.com.
We send that thing out on Facebook.
I'm going to edit this shit today.
It was Cory Booker.
I'm dedicated.
No, it wasn't Cory Booker.
I'm dedicated.
Owens.
Bill Ritter.
Bill Owens wasn't the most recent, though. He wasn't the most recent.
Well, he's the one.
Well, Bill Owens.
Regardless, he was the one that.
Find out who the governors are. I want to know.
Owens was the last Republican.
No, the last governor.
But Owens is the one that was
Bill Ritter. Bill Ritter was the governor.
Was Owens? Yeah, Ritter was the worst. He one term.
Owens
Ritter,
Hickenlooper, Polis.
Okay, and Polis. Polis is a good guy. No, Polis might, except he can't do anything about the state.
Wacko. He wants your vote not to count. How's that?
He wants to go through get rid of the
Electoral
College. That one college. Did you go to Electoral College?
I graduated from Electoral College.
I went to Electoral Community College.
That's even better.
I did it online.
I did their online version.
This guy, what's really so bad about this guy probably lost his job.
We'll find out tomorrow.
Dr. Louise, do you feel left out? Should I talk to you? Okay.
Oh, absolutely not. I was not planning to speak. I was letting him speak. He's the radio guy.
I thought you'd be a little more nerdy.
You thought
no, he is pretty nerdy. He is.
No,
Thank you.
When I first met him,
defend him.
When I first met him, he was plenty nerdy. I don't know.
He can be nerdy.
Oh my God.
He's not as nerdy as I thought, honestly.
He's a barbecue champion, so he can't be but so nerdy.
We had a young doctor in a couple weeks ago. Young doctor, 30 maybe, 32.
A baby.
500,000 in student debt.
Yep.
480 to be exact. I about fell over.
He's probably 32.
That's why nobody goes in psychiatry. You were talking about nurse practitioners. There are no psychiatrists.
No.
We're not replacing folks like me who retire or die. That's where nurse practitioners come in. There are no psychiatrists.
Nurse practitioners being psychiatrists?
Bingo.
How?
Because they can write prescriptions under a doctor.
Or are they mental health nurses or something?
No, they get trained, but the difference is it's about a 3-year program versus an 8-year program for me.
My sister was a mental health nurse, and I never knew what that meant. Like, she worked with...
Depends on which facility.
Well, not mental health, I guess. The drug abuse things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Substance abuse.
Yeah, she did a lot of that. I mean, she ran a clinic. Methadone in New York.
Sure.
And then nursing homes.
That's crazy. 8 years.
So what did the guy say about his $500,000 debt?
8 years, Mark. It's 12 years to be a doctor.
We were arguing. What do you think he made? I don't want to say his name online. Remember where he worked?
It's got to be at least a couple $100,000.
See, I say no way. No way.
No, he makes that. Yeah, we talked about
no way.
Yeah.
But he has so much.
Oh wait, we bet. You said 135.
I said over under 135. I think he makes under 135.
No, doctors make more.
Yeah, and we bet.
Do you even know who we're talking about?
Yeah. He's a good guy. He was good too.
He wasn't an MD. He was a what was
he?
He was
DO. Yeah,
a DO.
Yeah. Which
it's the same.
I mean, they do the same thing, but that much for DO school.
Oh, I bet you it was a highfalutin school too for 480.
God, it would have to be.
In many
I
cases,
thought it was a Arapahoe Community College.
In many cases, DOs are more forward thinking. In the schools.
Now, is a dentist actually a doctor? That's the big question.
A doctor of dentistry. Yeah.
Well,
how about a podiatrist?
I don't think.
By the way, in this state, they can be an oral maxillofacial surgeon. They can do plastic surgery.
Which is weird.
All they have to have is well, I don't even know if they need a residency, but they.
You guys should go to Papados. That's where you should go. Papados? Cajun?
He wants Mexican.
You want Mexican? Well, you go to Grand Junction, right?
Yeah.
Papados. You have great Mexican food.
We did.
God, I love Papados. I love it.
What's Papados?
Is it Cajun?
It's seafood,
I've
man.
never
It's
Cajun seafood. No, Well,
I guess Pop's.
All seafood.
I've never had a bad meal there.
Man,
Real
I
close
love
to it.
their
Real
cold
close.
seafood tower or the.
salad.
They have the best deal on oysters anywhere because they have their own farm. The best deal.
But I know you guys have great Mexican food in Grand Junction.
We do.
Yeah.
What's it called?
They have two
What?
in Grand Junction.
They have Del Taco and Taco Bell.
No, we have Fiesta Guadalajara.
Yeah, that's a nice place.
They're good.
Did you drive here from Grand Junction?
Yeah.
I did.
How long? What, 5 hours?
A little over 4.
Wow.
He's a speed demon. Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713
Talk. Listen, before we get going, I just want to, a lot of people are asking, it's T as in Tom, M as in Martino, S as in Services, Tom Martino Services. I'm just telling you that to remember it. It's TMS, which is transcranial. What does it actually stand for? Transcranial magnetic stimulation. Okay. Transcranial means in the head. Magnetic stimulation. TMS Solutions.com to find out more, and you can go directly. They can write you a prescription for it. It's for battling depression, and I think I'm going to have it done anyway. I really want to see the enhancement it does because some people believe that it enhances your ability.
Well, he said what was it, the Navy SEAL? Somebody.
SEAL Team 6.
SEAL Team 6.
Isn't that cool?
It's crazy.
All right, now, and the phone number, if you want it, is, I know a lot of people don't write it down, so if you do tmssolutions.com, the phone number is 303-928-0499. I want to go back to the phones because I'm trying to help people here as quickly as possible. And Ken, you said you have a lien filed on your property, right, for unpaid utility bills?
Yeah, I don't have one now, but that's what Morgan County does is they'll file a lien on a rental property.
Yes.
And somebody skips out on their utilities.
Well, yeah, the owner's responsible. Just like your car a lien is put on your car for repairs. If the services are supplied to that address, you cannot use the excuse that the tenant owes it. Okay. Well, the tenant does owe it. You can go after the tenant, but they have, lien rights for what's called quantum Marriott, meaning that the value was received on that property. That's well been established. So, Ann, what's happening with you, Ann?
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
I'm calling about trying to file an insurance claim against the other driver that hit me back in April.
Okay, here's the deal. You have no contractual relationship with his insurance company, and they don't even have to listen to you.
They don't have to listen.
Not even once. You have to go after the driver. This is the mistake people make. They chase the other insurance company, and you don't have to.
Okay.
How much damage do you have?
I don't have any damage. I was hit by a Subaru, and I was driving an old Jeep Cherokee.
What damage do you have?
Medical bill.
Okay, good.
Medical
not good.
bill.
Hold on. Suzanne, let's get her on tomorrow morning to help her. Ugly Ed, could you remind her? Hang on. Don't hang up. I'm Tom Martino. Don't forget referralist.com. And today's guest, tmssolutions.com. Save all your problems for me. When it comes to saving big on new windows, it doesn't get...
Stand-up comedian.
Who's that?
Hiram.
Who?
Isn't Hiram your rep?
Yes.
He's literally a stand-up comedian.
Who is he?
Yeah, he is a stand-up comedian. We were telling him
So
about
when's he come to
Tell us a
Johnstown?
joke. Tell us a joke.
Yeah, when you go up to Johnstown.
Tell us
Go ahead, be funny.
Be funny right now.
Be funny, Hiram.
You want to be mean to your future kids? Name your kid Hiram.
Okay, we're off.
A boy named